My beloved child, pay attention now. This matters for you more than you realize. You may have pressed play today thinking this would be just another message, another voice passing through your day. But I tell you that this moment is not ordinary. I have brought you here with purpose. Before you rush ahead, before your mind wanders to tomorrow's worries or yesterday's disappointments, be still and listen to me. There is something I want to place deep within your heart, something that has been waiting for this very moment. I have seen the questions you have carried in silence. I have watched you search for answers when no one else knew you were searching. I know the weight that has rested upon your shoulders, even when you smiled in front of others. My beloved child, you have wondered if I still see you. You have asked in the quiet places of your heart whether your prayers have reached me. You have questioned whether your life is moving in the right direction or whether you have somehow missed the path I prepared for you. Listen carefully, because I want you to hear my answer above every fearful thought. I have never stopped watching over you. I have never turned my face away from you. Even when you could not feel my presence, I was walking beside you, guarding you from dangers you never knew existed and preparing moments you could not yet understand. Imagine a traveler walking through a thick forest before sunrise. The path is hidden beneath shadows, and every step feels uncertain. The traveler believes he is alone because he cannot see beyond the darkness. Yet high above the trees, the first rays of morning are already breaking across the sky. The light is coming long before the traveler realizes it. My beloved child, you are the traveler, and I am the light that has never stopped rising over your life. Just because you cannot see everything I am doing does not mean I have stopped working. There are moments when I whisper, and there are moments when I call out so that my beloved child will not miss what I am saying. Today I am calling you. Pay attention now, because I am about to reveal truths that will strengthen your heart, renew your hope, and remind you of who you truly are. The voices of fear have spoken loudly enough. The voices of doubt have tried to convince you that nothing will change. But those voices do not have the final word. My voice carries life, peace, wisdom, and hope that no darkness can overcome. Do not allow distractions to steal this moment. Set aside every burden for a little while and simply remain with me. Let my words settle into the deepest places of your soul. I know exactly what you need before you ask, and I know the road that lies ahead before you take the next step. This message is not arriving by chance. It is my loving invitation to lift your eyes beyond your circumstances and to remember that your story is still unfolding under my faithful care. Stay close to me, my beloved child, because what I am about to reveal will change the way you see your life, your struggles, and your future forever. My beloved child, I have been watching every step you take, even when you believe it no one noticed. Before you spoke your first word, I knew your voice. Before you walked your first path, I had already seen every road you would travel. Nothing about your life has ever been hidden from me. Every joyful moment, every silent tear, every whispered prayer in the darkness has been precious in my sight. There has never been a single day when my eyes were not lovingly fixed upon you. You have often measured your life by what you could see. When opportunities appeared, you believed I was near. When doors closed, you wondered if I had left. But my beloved child, my presence has never depended on your circumstances. I am with you on the mountaintop, and I am with you in the valley. I am with you when laughter fills your home, and I remain beside you when silence echoes through lonely nights. I do not come and go according to your feelings. My love is steady, faithful, and unchanging. There were days when you felt forgotten because the answers did not arrive as quickly as you hoped. You searched the horizon for signs that everything would improve. You looked for immediate evidence that your prayers had been heard. Yet while you were waiting, I was doing work that your eyes could not see. I was arranging details beyond your understanding. I was protecting you from choices that would have brought sorrow. I was strengthening your heart in ways that only time could reveal. Think of a skilled gardener who plants a precious seed deep beneath the soil. For many days, nothing appears on the surface. Anyone passing by might believe the ground is empty. They may assume nothing is happening because they cannot see movement. But beneath the earth, the seed is quietly changing. Tiny roots are reaching downward before any green leaf reaches upward. The hidden work is preparing the visible growth. My beloved child, much of what I have done in your life has looked exactly like that. While you feared that nothing was changing, I was building deep roots of faith, patience, wisdom, and endurance inside you. I have watched the moments when disappointment tempted you to give up. I saw the conversations you replayed in your mind. I heard the questions you never asked aloud because you feared there would be no answer. You wondered why certain dreams slipped through your fingers. You questioned why people walked away when you had given them your trust. You struggled to understand why seasons of waiting seemed longer than seasons of joy. Yet even in those moments, I never stopped working for your good. There were dangers you never recognized because I quietly turned them away. There were paths you wanted to follow that would have led to pain beyond what you imagined. You called some of those moments disappointment, but I called them protection. You called them delays, but I called them preparation. You called them endings, but I was already writing new beginnings. My beloved child, I know the burdens you carry today. Some are visible to those around you, but many remain hidden behind your smile. I know the responsibilities that leave you weary. I know the memories that still ache when they return unexpectedly. I know the hopes you are almost afraid to hold because disappointment has visited you before. You do not need to pretend with me. You do not need to hide your weakness or disguise your questions. Bring everything into my presence, because I already know your heart completely, and I love you completely. Never mistake my silence for my absence. There are times when I speak through quietness, because I am teaching you to trust my heart before you fully understand my plans. Just as a loving father watches over a child learning to walk, I have been near you through every uncertain step. When the child stumbles, the father does not abandon them. He reaches out with patient hands, encouraging them to rise again. That is how I have cared for you. Every time you thought you had reached the end of your strength, my unseen hand was there, giving you enough grace to take one more step. So lift your eyes, my beloved child. Do not allow yesterday's disappointments to define today's hope. Remember that I have seen your entire journey from beginning to end, and nothing has surprised me. Every chapter has been held within my loving hands. As you continue forward, carry this truth deep within your heart. You have never walked alone. You are not walking alone now, and you will never walk alone, because I am faithfully with you through every moment of your life. My beloved child, there have been battles in your life that no one else could see. People may have noticed the tiredness in your eyes or the hesitation in your voice, but they could not see the true struggle taking place within your heart. They did not hear the conversations you had with yourself in the middle of the night. They did not feel the weight of the questions that seemed to grow heavier with every passing day. Yet I saw it all. I never looked away for a single moment. Every unseen battle was fully known to me, and every silent cry reached my heart before it ever left your lips. There were mornings when you woke already exhausted, not because your body lacked strength, but because your spirit had carried burdens through the night. There were days when fear quietly followed you, whispering that nothing would ever change. Doubt tried to convince you that you were fighting alone. Discouragement attempted to settle over your thoughts like a thick fog, making it difficult to see hope even when it stood close beside you. But my beloved child, those voices never spoke the truth. They were loud, but they were never greater than my voice. You have wondered why certain seasons felt unusually difficult. You compared your journey with others and questioned why your road seemed steeper. Sometimes you believed you had done something wrong because the challenges refused to disappear. But listen carefully to me now. Not every battle comes because you have failed. Many battles come because you are growing. A tree that reaches higher into the sky must also send its roots deeper into the ground. The stronger the winds become, the stronger those hidden roots must grow. I have been strengthening you in places no human eye could ever see. Imagine a shepherd leading his flock through a narrow mountain pass. On one side are towering cliffs. On the other side is a deep valley hidden beneath shadows. The sheep cannot see what lies beyond the next turn. They hear unfamiliar sounds echoing through the rocks, and fear begins to rise within them. Yet the shepherd walks ahead with confidence because he knows the path. He has traveled it before. He sees dangers long before the flock reaches them. Sometimes he gently redirects the sheep away from places they would have chosen on their own, not to keep them from blessing, but to protect them from harm. My beloved child, I have been your shepherd in exactly that way. Many times you thought you were simply changing direction, but it was my loving hand guiding you around dangers you never knew existed. There were disappointments that felt unbearable at the time. Opportunities disappeared. Belated agenda. Plans you carefully built seemed to fall apart without warning. You stood among the broken pieces wondering how anything good could come from such loss. Yet even while your heart was aching, I was quietly weaving together a future that could not be built upon the foundation you were leaving behind. What looked like destruction to you was often the beginning of restoration that only I could see. I have also protected you from battles you never knew were approaching. There were conversations that could have wounded you more deeply, but I interrupted them. There were decisions that seemed attractive in the moment, yet they would have led you far from the peace I desired for you. There were moments when delays frustrated you because you wanted immediate answers, but those delays placed distance between you and unseen danger. You may never know how many times my hand stood between you and harm, but one day you will understand that my protection surrounded your life far more often than you realized. My beloved child, do not let the memory of past struggles convince you that future victories are impossible. The battles you survived were not proof that I had abandoned you. They were evidence that my strength was carrying you when your own strength was fading. Every tear you shed mattered to me. Every prayer whispered through trembling lips was heard. Every moment you chose to keep moving forward, even when hope felt small, was precious in my sight. Now I ask you to see your struggles through my eyes instead of your fears. What seemed like endless conflict has been shaping your character. What seemed like delay has been building endurance. What seemed like weakness hath been teaching you to depend upon my unfailing love instead of your limited understanding. You are stronger than you know because I have been strengthening you. You are safer than you realize because I have been surrounding you. And you are closer to the breakthrough I have prepared than your circumstances would ever lead you to believe. So do not be afraid of the battles that remain ahead. Walk forward with quiet confidence, knowing that I go before you, I walk beside you, and I remain behind you. No unseen struggle escapes my attention, and no darkness is powerful enough to overcome the light of my presence. Hold tightly to my voice, my beloved child, because I have never lost sight of you, and I never will. My beloved child, I know that your heart has been restless. There have been moments when you could not explain why peace seemed just beyond your reach. Even when everything around you appeared calm, something deep within continued searching. You wondered why satisfaction faded so quickly. You questioned why accomplishments did not completely fill the emptiness you sometimes felt. You tried to understand why your spirit kept longing for something more. Let me gently tell you that this restlessness has not been your enemy. Much of it has been my invitation calling you closer to me. You may have believed that something was wrong because you felt unsettled. You may have blamed yourself for not feeling content, or perhaps you thought you had missed the life you were meant to live. But my beloved child, there is a holy kind of restlessness that I place within the hearts of those I love. It is not meant to torment you. It is meant to waken you. It stirs your soul because I am preparing you to leave behind what is familiar and step toward what I have lovingly prepared for you. Think about a young eagle resting in its nest high above the earth. At first, the nest feels safe and comfortable. It is the only home the young bird has ever known. But as the days pass, something begins to change. The nest that once brought comfort begins to feel too small. The eagle grows stronger, and the place that once protected it can no longer contain the purpose hidden within its wings. If the nest remained comfortable forever, the eagle might never discover that it was created to soar above mountains and valleys. My beloved child, some of the discomfort you have experienced has been preparing your heart to spread the wings I placed within you long ago. There have been seasons when you asked me to remove every uncertainty from your life. You wanted complete understanding before taking another step. Yet if I revealed every detail of your future all at once, you would depend upon what you know instead of learning to trust the one who knows everything. I am teaching you to walk by faith, not because I want your journey to be difficult, but because faith draws your heart closer to mine. Every uncertain step becomes an opportunity to discover that my hand has been holding yours all along. I have seen the moments when your thoughts raced with questions. You wondered whether you were making the right decisions. You replayed conversations in your mind, searching for answers that seemed impossible to find. Sometimes you looked at others and imagined they had everything figured out while you alone struggled with uncertainty. But my beloved child, many hearts quietly wrestle with the same questions. The difference is not found in who has every answer. The difference is found in who chooses to trust me even before every answer arrives. Do not allow impatience to convince you that you must force open doors that I have not opened. A fruit picked before it is ripe cannot offer its full sweetness. A river rushing beyond its banks brings destruction instead of life. In the same way, blessings received before the right season can become burdens instead of gifts. I know the perfect timing for every promise I have spoken over your life. I have not forgotten them. I have not delayed them without purpose. I am preparing both the blessing and the heart that will receive it. Sometimes I calm the storm around you. At other times, I calm the storm within you. There are seasons when your circumstances change quickly, and there are seasons when I first transform your heart so that you can stand with peace even before your circumstances change. Never underestimate the miracle of an inner peace that remains steady while the world around you continues to shift. That peace is one of my greatest gifts, and it cannot be taken away by uncertainty. My beloved child, do not fear the questions that remain unanswered today. Every sunrise begins long before its light reaches the valleys below. Though the night may seem endless to those standing in darkness, the morning has already begun beyond the horizon. In the same way, I have already begun working in ways you cannot yet see. Your breakthrough is not created in the moment you finally recognize it. It has been unfolding under my loving care long before your eyes could perceive it. So when your heart begins to feel restless again, do not immediately believe that you are lost. Pause and listen for my voice. Instead of allowing anxiety to lead you, allow my presence to guide you. Bring your worries into my hands, and let me replace them with my peace. I am not leading you into confusion. I am leading you into deeper trust. I am not leaving you in uncertainty. I am preparing you for clarity at the right time. Rest in my love, my beloved child, because the one who began this beautiful work in your life is faithfully carrying it forward, and I will lead you exactly where you are meant to be. My beloved child, there are doors you have stood before with great hope, believing they would surely open. You prayed with sincere faith. You planned carefully. You imagined the life that waited on the other side. Then, without warning, the door remained closed. You knocked again, convinced that perhaps you had not waited long enough. You searched for another key, another opportunity, another explanation. When nothing changed, disappointment settled into your heart. You wondered if I had ignored your prayers or if somehow you had failed me. But I want you to hear my heart today. The doors I closed were also my mercy. It is difficult to understand a closed door when you cannot yet see what lies behind it. Your vision is shaped by the present moment, but I see every tomorrow that stretches beyond the horizon. I know where each path leads. I know which voices will strengthen your spirit and which ones will slowly drain your peace. I know which opportunities carry hidden burdens and which delays are quietly preparing greater blessings. What appears to be rejection in one season often becomes protection that you will celebrate in another. Imagine a father walking beside his young child through a busy marketplace. The child suddenly notices something bright and beautiful across the street and eagerly begins to run toward it. From the child's perspective, the father seems unfair when he gently pulls the child back. The child cannot yet see the speeding carriage racing around the corner. Tears fill the child's eyes because all they can think about is the treasure they were prevented from reaching. But the Father is not withholding joy. He is preserving life. My beloved child, there have been moments when you felt my hand restraining you, and you mistook my protection for denial. I was never trying to take something good away from you. I was keeping something harmful from reaching you. There were relationships you desperately wanted to keep. You prayed that hearts would change, that misunderstandings would disappear, that broken trust would somehow be restored overnight. Some relationships ended despite your prayers, and you questioned why I allowed the separation. Yet I saw what you could not see. I knew which connections would encourage your growth and which ones would slowly lead you away from the peace I desired for you. Sometimes love requires release. Sometimes healing begins with a goodbye that feels unbearable in the moment but becomes a gift with the passing of time. There were opportunities that seemed perfect. You imagined the success they would bring. You pictured the doors they would open and the security they would provide. When those opportunities slipped away, you believed your future had become smaller. But I was protecting you from settling for what looked impressive instead of waiting for what truly aligned with my purpose for your life. A glittering path is not always the right path, and a difficult road is not always the wrong one. My wisdom reaches far beyond what your eyes can see. Do not think that every closed door is a sign that you are moving away from my plans. Often it is evidence that you are moving deeper into them. I do not guide my beloved children by granting every request exactly as they imagine it. I guide them with perfect love, perfect wisdom, and perfect timing. There are blessings you have not yet received because they are still being prepared. There are places you have not yet entered because I am still shaping your heart for what awaits you there. If I were to give you everything the moment you asked, you might gain the gift, but miss the growth that would allow you to carry it with peace and humility. Think of a master builder constructing a beautiful home. Before the walls can rise, the foundation must be carefully laid. The work below the surface often takes longer than the work everyone can admire. Those watching from a distance may wonder why so little seems to be happening. Yet the builder knows that a weak foundation cannot support a strong house. My beloved child, I have been building foundations within you that cannot be shaken by disappointment, success, praise, or hardship. I am creating a life that will stand firm because it is rooted in my love rather than changing circumstances. Perhaps today you are still standing before one of those closed doors, wondering if it will ever open. Perhaps you are carrying unanswered prayers that have become heavy with waiting. I invite you to place those burdens into my hands once again. Trust that I have not forgotten you. Trust that my silence is not indifference. Trust that my delays are not abandonment. Every decision I make flows from my love for you, even when you cannot immediately understand it. One day you will look back and see how my mercy quietly walked beside you through every disappointment. You will recognize that the doors which remained shut protected dreams you had not yet imagined. You will understand that my no was never meant to wound your heart, but to guard it until the right yes arrived. Until that day, keep walking with confidence. Do not lose hope because one path has ended. Lift your eyes to me, my beloved child, for I am already leading you toward a future filled with purpose, peace, and blessings that no closed door could ever prevent. My beloved child, while you have been looking at what is happening around you, I have been working in places your eyes cannot reach. There is more taking place than you can measure with your understanding. You often look for visible signs before you believe that change has begun. But I tell you that some of my greatest works begin in silence. Long before the first evidence appears, I am already moving. Long before the answer arrives, I have already set it into motion. What seems delayed to you is often unfolding with perfect precision in my hands. There have been mornings when you woke wondering if anything was different. The same responsibilities waited for you. The same concerns lingered in your thoughts. The same prayers seemed unanswered. You searched for a breakthrough that had not yet become visible, and discouragement tried to whisper that nothing was changing. But my beloved child, do not mistake quiet seasons for empty seasons. I have never been idle. Every day, even when you noticed nothing, I was carefully arranging what needed to happen at exactly the right time. Think about a seed resting beneath the soil after it has been planted. Rain falls upon the earth, and the warmth of the sun reaches the ground above it. For days, perhaps even weeks, no green leaf breaks through the surface. Someone walking past might believe the seed has failed. They may think the waiting has been meaningless. Yet beneath the ground, life is awakening. The outer shell is breaking apart, not because the seed is dying, but because it is becoming what it was created to be. Tiny roots stretch downward, anchoring themselves where no one can applaud them. Strength is being formed in secret before beauty appears in public. My beloved child, that is what I have been doing within you. I have been growing roots that will support the blessings I have prepared. The hidden work has always been just as important as the visible harvest. You have asked me why certain dreams have taken so long. You have wondered why others seem to move ahead while you continue to wait. Sometimes comparison has quietly entered your thoughts, making you question whether you have been overlooked. But I do not write every story with the same timeline. I know exactly what each of my children needs. I know the lessons that will strengthen you, the experiences that will deepen your compassion, and the moments that will prepare you to carry the future without losing your heart along the way. Your journey is not delayed because I have forgotten you. Your journey is unfolding according to my perfect wisdom. There are people I am preparing to cross your path whose lives will be changed because of the strength you are gaining today. There are conversations that have not yet happened because the right moment has not yet arrived. There are opportunities waiting beyond the horizon that require the person you are becoming, not simply the person you have been. If I moved everything ahead before your heart was ready, you might receive the opportunity but miss its purpose. I care not only about where you are going. I care deeply about who you become along the way. Remember how a master musician carefully tunes every instrument before the performance begins. Those listening from outside may hear only scattered notes and pauses. They may not understand why the music has not yet started. Yet every adjustment is necessary so that when the first song begins, every instrument can play in harmony. My beloved child, I have been tuning the details of your life with that same loving care. Some relationships have needed adjustment. Some habits have required change. Some wounds have needed healing. Some dreams have needed refining. None of this has been wasted. Every quiet moment has been preparing a greater harmony than you can presently imagine. Do not become weary while waiting for what I have promised. Waiting with me is never passive. While you wait, your faith grows stronger. Your character becomes steadier. Your compassion becomes deeper. Your wisdom becomes richer. You are learning to trust my heart even when your eyes cannot yet see my hands at work. A kind of trust becomes an unshakable foundation that no storm can destroy. There will come a day when what has been hidden begins to appear. The seed will break through the soil. The roots that grew unseen will support branches filled with life. You will look back on this season and realize that what felt like stillness was actually sacred preparation. You will understand that I was never asking you to stand still without purpose. I was inviting you to grow in ways that only eternity can fully reveal. So lift your heart, my beloved child. Refuse to believe that nothing is happening simply because you cannot yet see it. I am working behind every closed curtain. I am weaving together moments, people, opportunities, and blessings with perfect care. My timing has never been careless, and my plans have never been uncertain. Continue to walk faithfully, continue to trust me, and continue to place your hope in my promises. What I have been preparing behind the scenes is greater than your fears, greater than your doubts, and greater than anything you could have imagined for yourself. When the time is right, you will see that every quiet season carried the fingerprints of my faithful love, and you will know that I was preparing something beautiful for you all along. My beloved child, I know how loudly fear has spoken to you. I have watched it try to enter your thoughts before the morning has even begun. I have seen it whisper to you in the quiet hours of the night, painting pictures of failure, loss, and uncertainty. Fear has tried to convince you that tomorrow carries more danger than hope. It has suggested that you are too weak, too late, or too broken to move forward. But I tell you this with unwavering love. Fear has never spoken my words. It may be loud, but it is not truthful. My voice is greater than every fearful thought that has ever tried to take root in your heart. Fear always asks, what if everything goes wrong? My voice gently asks, what if you trust me? Fear points to your limitations. I remind you of my limitless strength. Fear tells you to remain where you are because the unknown feels dangerous. I invite you to walk with me because I already stand in every tomorrow you have yet to reach. You do not have to know every step ahead when you are holding the hand of the one who has already walked the path before you. There have been moments when fear disguised itself as wisdom. It told you that avoiding risks would keep you safe. It encouraged you to silence your dreams before disappointment could touch them. It whispered that it was better not to love deeply than to risk being hurt again. It suggested that keeping your heart hidden would protect you from pain. Yet, my beloved child, a life ruled by fear becomes smaller with every passing day. I did not create you merely to survive. I created you to live with courage, hope, compassion, and faith. Imagine a small boat resting along the shore. It was built with skill, its wood carefully shaped, its sails carefully woven. Day after day, it remains tied securely to the dock. The boat is safe from crashing waves, It never faces powerful winds. It never encounters storms. But neither does it fulfill the purpose for which it was made. A boat was not created to spend its entire life tied to the shore. It was made to sail across open waters. Yes, there will be waves. Yes, there will be changing winds. But there will also be beautiful horizons that can only be seen by those willing to leave the safety of the harbor. My beloved child, I have not created you to remain anchored by fear. I have created you to journey with me into the purpose I lovingly prepared for your life. Do not misunderstand courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing to trust me even while fear is knocking at the door of your heart. There were many faithful servants throughout the generations who faced uncertainty. They did not move forward because every question had been answered. They moved because they believed my promise was stronger than their anxiety. They discovered that my strength became most visible when they could no longer depend entirely upon themselves. I know there are situations before you right now that seem overwhelming. Perhaps you are facing decisions that carry great responsibility. Perhaps your future feels uncertain. Perhaps you are waiting for healing, restoration, or direction. Fear wants you to believe that because you cannot control every outcome, you should stop moving altogether. But I am asking you to take the next faithful step. Not 10 steps. Not the entire journey at once. Simply the next step. As you move, you will discover that my grace meets you there. Then it will meet you again at the next step, and the next, until one day you look behind you and realize how far we have traveled together. Remember the child learning to ride a bicycle for the first time. The child trembles because falling seems possible. Yet the loving father runs beside the bicycle, one hand gently steadying it. The child focuses on the possibility of falling, while the father focuses on helping the child discover balance. Eventually, the child realizes that confidence did not come from never wobbling. It came from knowing someone trustworthy had been there all along. My beloved child, I have been running beside you through every uncertain moment. Even when you stumbled, I never abandoned you. I lifted you, strengthened you, and encouraged you to keep moving forward. Whenever fear begins to speak again, do not argue with it. Instead, turn your attention toward my voice. Fill your heart with the truth that I am with you. Remember how many times I have carried you through situations you once believed were impossible. Think of every season when you wondered how you would endure, only to discover later that my strength had quietly sustained you every single day. The same faithfulness that carried you then remains with you now. My beloved child, let today become the day you stop allowing fear to decide the direction of your life. Place your worries into my hands. Release the burden of trying to control everything that lies ahead. Trust that I am already working in places you cannot yet see. My peace is stronger than your anxiety. My promises are stronger than your doubts. My love is stronger than every shadow that tries to surround your heart. Walk forward with confidence, not because the road will always be easy, but because you will never walk it alone. I go before you to prepare the way. I walk beside you to strengthen your heart. I remain behind you as your faithful protector. Wherever fear attempts to rise, let my presence rise even higher within you. Listen to my voice above every other voice, my beloved child, for I will always lead you toward hope, never toward despair, toward life, never toward defeat, and toward peace that no fear can ever take away. My beloved child, I know there are wounds within your heart that you rarely allow anyone to see. Time has passed, seasons have changed, and life has continued moving forward, yet some hurts still seem to whisper your name. There are memories that return without invitation. There are moments when a familiar place, a certain song, or a simple conversation suddenly reminds you of what was lost. You have wondered if those hidden places inside you will ever truly heal. Listen carefully to my voice. The healing you thought would never come has already begun, even if you cannot yet see its fullness. Many people believe healing happens all at once, like darkness disappearing the instant the sun rises. There are times when I work that way, but often I heal as the dawn slowly brightens the sky. At first, only a faint light appears on the horizon. The night has not completely disappeared, yet its power is already fading. Little by little, the colors of morning spread across the heavens until everything is touched by light. My beloved child, this is how I have been healing your heart. Every moment you chose hope instead of despair, every time you forgave instead of clinging to bitterness, every prayer you whispered through tears became another ray of my light breaking into your life. I have seen the disappointments that left scars upon your soul. Words spoken carelessly by others lingered longer than they should have. Broken promises made you question whether trust was safe. Rejection tempted you to believe that you were not enough. Loss convinced you that joy would never return. Yet none of those painful experiences have the authority to define who you are. They may describe chapters of your story, but they are not the title of your life. I alone hold the final word over your identity, and I call you my beloved child, deeply cherished, deeply known, and deeply loved. Imagine an old garden that has been neglected through many seasons. Weeds have grown tall. Flowers that once bloomed with beauty seem forgotten beneath tangled vines. Someone walking past might believe the garden is beyond saving. But then a loving gardener arrives. He does not condemn the garden for what it has become. He patiently removes the weeds one by one. He loosens the hardened soil. He waters the roots that still carry hidden life. Day after day, his quiet care begins to reveal what had been buried beneath years of neglect. New blossoms appear where no one expected them. My beloved child, I am that gardener. I have never looked at your wounded heart and declared it beyond restoration. I have always seen the beauty I planted within you, and I have been patiently tending every part of your soul. Do not become discouraged because some healing takes longer than you expected. A deep wound requires gentle care. If it is forced to close too quickly while infection remains beneath the surface, greater pain can follow. That is why I heal with perfect wisdom. I do not simply cover your wounds. I cleanse them with my love. I remove the lies that settled there. I replace shame with dignity, fear with courage, bitterness with peace, and hopelessness with quiet confidence. My healing reaches places that human understanding cannot fully explain. There have been moments when you believed you had completely healed, only to discover that certain situations still stirred old emotions. Do not mistake those moments for failure. Healing is not always a straight path. Sometimes I gently reveal another hidden layer that is ready to receive my touch. I never uncover pain to leave you wounded. I reveal it so I can restore it completely. Every tear you release into my presence becomes an invitation for my comfort to enter more deeply. My beloved child, stop carrying guilt for the wounds others placed upon you. Stop believing that your brokenness makes you less valuable in my eyes. The cracks in your heart have not pushed me away. They have become places where my light can shine more brightly. Just as a skilled artist restores a treasured masterpiece without destroying its beauty, I am restoring you with tenderness, patience, and unfailing love. I know exactly where every fracture lies, and I know exactly how to make you whole again. As I heal you, I am also preparing you to become a source of comfort for others. One day you will recognize the pain in someone else's eyes because you have walked a similar road. You will speak with compassion instead of judgment. You will offer hope because you have experienced my faithfulness firsthand. The comfort I pour into your life will overflow into the lives of those who feel forgotten and weary. Nothing you have endured will be wasted when it is placed into my hands. So breathe deeply, my beloved child, and release the burden of believing you must heal yourself through your own strength. Rest in my presence. Let my love reach the places you have tried to protect for so long. Trust me with every scar, every unanswered question, and every lingering sorrow. The sunrise has already begun. The darkness is losing its hold. What once seemed impossible is becoming reality under my gentle care. I am making your heart whole again, not by erasing your story, but by filling every chapter with my redeeming love. And when you look back one day, you will see that even in your deepest pain, my healing hands never left your side. My beloved child, I am opening your eyes to what truly matters. For so long, your attention has been pulled in many directions. The world has surrounded you with countless voices, each insisting that you must chase more, achieve more, own more, and become more in order to be enough. Every day, you are invited to compare your life with someone else's, to measure your worth by what you possess, or to believe that your value rises and falls with your success. But I did not create you to live under the burden of endless comparison. I created you to walk in the freedom of knowing that your worth has always been found in my love. There have been times when you have become so focused on reaching the next goal that you forgot to notice the blessings already surrounding you. You celebrated one achievement only to immediately worry about the next challenge. You reached one destination, yet your heart still felt restless because you believed fulfillment was always waiting somewhere farther ahead. My beloved child, there is nothing wrong with pursuing the dreams I have placed within your heart. But when your peace depends upon reaching the next milestone, you will never truly rest. Real peace does not come from what you accomplish. It comes from walking closely with me, whether you are climbing a mountain or resting in a quiet valley. Think of a traveler who spends an entire journey staring only at a map. The map is useful because it provides direction, but if the traveler never lifts his eyes, he will miss the beauty of the rivers, forests, sunsets, and fields surrounding him. He will reach his destination without ever fully experiencing the journey. My beloved child, many people spend their lives staring only at their plans, their worries, and their ambitions. They become so consumed with where they are going that they fail to notice my presence walking beside them every step of the way. I do not want you to rush through the life I have given you. I want you to recognize my goodness in both the ordinary moments and the extraordinary ones. I want to teach you to treasure what cannot be purchased. A peaceful heart is more valuable than endless possessions. A clear conscience is richer than temporary applause. A faithful friendship is worth more than popularity. A quiet moment spent in my presence carries greater strength than hours spent chasing the approval of people who cannot satisfy the deepest needs of your soul. The treasures that endure are often invisible to human eyes, yet they are priceless in my kingdom. There were seasons when you believed that if only one circumstance changed, everything else would finally fall into place. You thought, if I had this opportunity, if I earned this amount, if this relationship worked out, then I would finally be happy. Yet each time one desire was fulfilled, another quickly appeared. This is because no earthly achievement was ever meant to fill the place within your heart that only my love can satisfy. I formed that place intentionally so you would always know where your true home is found. Imagine a craftsman shaping a beautiful clay vessel. As the clay spins upon the wheel, it may not understand why the hands pressing against it sometimes feel firm. Yet every touch has purpose. The craftsman is not trying to ruin the vessel. He is shaping it into something strong enough to carry what it was designed to hold. My beloved child, I have been shaping your heart in much the same way. Some experiences have stretched you. Others have humbled you. Still others have taught you patience when you would have preferred immediate answers. Every season has been forming within you the character needed to carry the purpose I have prepared. Do not allow temporary distractions to steal your attention from eternal truths. The worries that seem overwhelming today will not define your forever. The opinions of others cannot change who I have created you to be. The disappointments of yesterday cannot cancel the future I continue to prepare for you. Lift your eyes beyond the noise that constantly competes for your attention. Listen for my voice, for it speaks with quiet certainty in the middle of a restless world. I also want you to understand that the people I place in your life matter more than many of the things you spend your energy pursuing. A kind word spoken at the right moment can change a life. A forgiving heart can restore what anger could never repair. A gentle act of compassion could become the answer to someone else's silent prayer. Never underestimate the significance of loving others well. Every act of kindness reflects my heart. Every moment of patience reveals my presence working within you. My beloved child, I am gently redirecting your focus from what fades to what lasts. I am teaching you to value wisdom above wealth, peace above pressure, faith above fear, and love above recognition. These treasures cannot be stolen by changing circumstances. They remain with you because they are rooted in me. As you move forward, ask yourself not only what you are building, but also who you are becoming. The greatest success is not measured by what you collect, but by the love you share, the faith you nurture, and the trust you place in me. When your eyes remain fixed on what truly matters, you will discover a joy that does not depend on perfect circumstances. You will walk with steady confidence, because your foundation will no longer rest upon temporary things but upon my unchanging love. And when you see your life through my eyes, you will realize that the greatest blessings have been beside you all along, waiting for you to notice them. My beloved child, your next step requires trust, not perfect understanding. I know how deeply you desire certainty. You want to see the entire road before you begin walking. You want every question answered before you make a decision. You want every fear removed before you move forward. But if you could see everything in advance, there would be no need to trust me. Faith is not built by seeing the whole journey. Faith is built by taking one faithful step while holding my hand. There have been many times when you delayed moving because you were waiting for complete clarity. You told yourself that you would obey once every detail made sense. Yet, my beloved child, some of the greatest moments in your life will begin with a simple act of trust. I rarely reveal the entire picture all at once. Instead, I illuminate the next step, and as you take it, I reveal the one that follows. In this way, your confidence grows not in your own understanding but in my faithfulness. Remember Abraham, whom I called to leave the familiar and journey toward a land I would show him. I did not hand him a complete map. I gave him a promise. He walked forward because he trusted the one who spoke, not because he knew every destination along the way. That same invitation stands before you today. I am not asking you to understand everything. I am asking you to trust the one who understands everything. Imagine a child learning to cross a shallow stream by stepping on stones placed across the water. The child hesitates because only the first stone is clearly visible. The rest seem hidden by the flowing water and the morning mist. Yet the loving Father already knows where every stone rests. He stretches out his hand and says, "Take the first step." As the child steps forward, the next stone becomes visible. Then another appears, and another after that. Before long, the child reaches the other side, not because every stone was visible from the beginning, but because each step was taken in trust. My beloved child, you are standing beside that stream today. Do not allow uncertainty to keep you from the life I have prepared. Some of your greatest blessings are waiting on the other side of obedience. Some prayers are answered only after you begin walking. Some doors open only when you are willing to leave behind the comfort of where you have been. I know that change can feel uncomfortable. I know that leaving familiar places can stir anxiety within your heart. But I also know the joy that awaits you when you choose faith over fear. You not confuse waiting for my timing with postponing obedience because of fear. There is a difference. When I ask you to wait, my peace will strengthen your patience. When fear asks you to delay, it fills your heart with endless excuses and constant hesitation. Learn to recognize my voice. My voice leads you with quiet confidence. Fear pulls you into confusion. My spirit brings peace even when the road ahead is unknown. You may wonder whether you are strong enough for what lies ahead. Let me answer that question. On your own, you may feel weak, but you were never meant to walk in your own strength alone. Every assignment I give you comes with the grace to fulfill it. Every path I ask you to follow is accompanied by my presence. I do not send you ahead while remaining behind. I go before you, walk beside you, and remain with you through every challenge and every victory. There will be moments when you look back and realize that what once seemed impossible became possible because you trusted me one step at a time. You will not remember every fear that tried to stop you. Instead, you will remember my faithfulness. You will remember how I opened doors you could never have opened yourself. You will remember how I gave you peace when circumstances offered none. You will remember that I never failed you, not even once. So today, my beloved child, release the need to control every outcome. Place tomorrow into my hands. Let go of the pressure to understand everything before you begin. Trust that I am guiding you with perfect wisdom and unfailing love. Take the next faithful step with confidence, knowing that I have already gone ahead to prepare the way. Every step you take with me is a step toward the purpose I have lovingly prepared since before you were born. As you continue walking with me, remember that every act of faith becomes a light for someone else searching for hope. Your journey is not only shaping your life, it is preparing your testimony to strengthen countless hearts that have yet to hear my voice. Now, before we continue this journey together, listen closely to what I place upon your heart. If this message has awakened your spirit and reminded you that every faithful step could become a path of hope for another soul, then let your response become part of my work. I tell you that when you sow into the field where my truth is being shared, you help my light reach hearts still wandering in darkness. Just as a single seed can become a great harvest, your act of generosity can carry my comfort to people you may never meet. Remember my living promise. Whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Receive these words as my invitation spoken personally to you today. My beloved child, I am calling you to become a joyful partner in spreading my message of hope. If this ministry has blessed your life, respond through super thanks, become a faithful YouTube member, or use the PayPal donation link waiting for you in the video description and through the QR code shown in this video. Do not delay the good that I have placed within your heart, because every moment of obedience opens another door for my love to reach someone in need. I blessed every cheerful giver with renewed peace, fresh strength, and unexpected provision according to my perfect will. Let your gift become a living seed that bears eternal fruit. Rise now, act in faith, and help my word reach the next waiting heart. My beloved child, do not measure your future by your past. I know how easy it is for your mind to return to old failures, painful memories, and opportunities that slipped away. There are moments when you look behind you and wonder if those chapters have already determined what the rest of your life will become. You ask yourself whether the mistakes you made have placed limits on the future I intended for you. But listen carefully to my voice. Your past may explain some of your scars, but it does not have the authority to define your destiny. I alone hold your future, and my plans for you are greater than anything your past could ever prevent. There have been times when regret has quietly followed you like a shadow. You replay conversations you wish had ended differently. You think about decisions you would gladly change if you could return to that moment. You wonder how life might have unfolded if only you had chosen another path. My beloved child, regret often promises wisdom, but when you carry it too long, it becomes a prison instead of a teacher. I never intended for you to live chained to yesterday. I desire that you learn from it, release it into my hands, and continue walking toward the future I am preparing. Some of the burdens you carry are not even your own mistakes. They are the wounds left by the choices of others. Perhaps someone broke your trust. Perhaps words spoken over your life caused you to question your worth. Perhaps you were overlooked, abandoned, or misunderstood. Those experiences may have shaped your journey, but they have not changed how I see you. Before anyone spoke hurtful words over your life, I had already spoken words of love over you. Before anyone rejected you, I had already chosen you. Before anyone questioned your value, I had already called you my beloved child. Imagine a sculptor standing before a large block of marble. To an untrained eye, it appears rough, ordinary, and without beauty. But the sculptor does not focus on what the stone currently looks like. He sees the masterpiece hidden within it. Every careful strike of the chisel removes what does not belong until the beauty that was always inside begins to appear. My beloved child, that is how I see you. I do not define you by the rough edges that still remain. I see the person I created you to become. Every season of growth, every lesson learned, every act of surrender is removing what was never meant to remain, revealing the beauty I placed within you from the beginning. Do not believe the lie that because you have stumbled, you cannot walk with confidence again. A child learning to walk falls many times before taking steady steps. The loving Father does not count each fall as failure. He celebrates every attempt because he knows the child is growing stronger. In the same way, I have never counted your sincere efforts against you. I have seen your heart. I have watched you rise after disappointment. I have strengthened you after moments of weakness. Every time you chose to stand again, even when your strength felt small, I rejoiced because you were continuing the journey instead of surrendering to despair. There are people in the world who will remember you according to your past, but I call you according to your future. Others may identify you by what you once did, what you once feared, or what you once lacked. I identify you by the purpose I lovingly designed before you ever took your first breath. My vision for your life has never been limited by the chapters that came before. I specialize in bringing new beginnings where others see only endings. I create beauty where others expect brokenness. I breathe hope into places where discouragement once lived. My beloved child, I want you to stop introducing yourself to your future through the language of yesterday's pain. Do not say, I will probably fail because I failed before. Do not say, nothing good will happen because it never has. Those thoughts are not the language of my heart. Instead, remember how many times I have carried you through situations you thought would defeat you. Remember the strength I gave you when you believed you had none left. Remember the peace I placed within you when the storm around you refused to quiet. Those moments were not accidents. They were reminders that my faithfulness has always been greater than your circumstances. The future I have prepared for you is not built upon your perfection. It is built upon my grace. My grace is greater than your mistakes. My mercy is deeper than your regrets. My love reaches farther than your fears. When you place your past into my hands, I transform it from a chain that holds you back into a testimony that strengthens both you and those who will one day hear your story. Even the chapters that caused you the greatest pain can become evidence of my restoring power. So lift your eyes, my beloved child. Do not keep walking backward while trying to move forward. Release yesterday into my care. Receive the new mercy I have prepared for this day. Walk with confidence, not because you have never failed, but because I have never failed you. The road ahead is not determined by the disappointments behind you. It is shaped by my faithful love, my perfect wisdom, and my unchanging promises. Trust me as you step into this new chapter, for I am leading you toward a future filled with hope, purpose, and blessings that your past could never erase. My beloved child, I am rebuilding what was broken. I know there are places in your life where you still see the marks of loss. There are dreams that seem to collapse before they could fully bloom. There are relationships that once brought warmth but now leave behind silence. There are hopes you quietly tucked away because you feared they would only lead to disappointment again. You have looked at certain parts of your life and wondered if they could ever be restored. Hear my voice today. What appears beyond repair to human eyes is never beyond my power to renew. I do not walk away from broken things. I lovingly restore them. Many people believe that once something hath been shattered, it can never carry beauty again. They assume that cracks only tell a story of failure. But I see differently. I see possibilities where others see endings. I see purpose where others see pain. I see life where others see ruins. When I begin my work of restoration, I do not merely return something to the way it once was. I transform it into something deeper, stronger, and more beautiful than before because it has been touched by my grace. Think about an ancient temple that has stood through countless seasons. Time, storms, and neglect have left stones scattered across the ground. Vines have grown over walls that once stood strong. Travelers passing by may believe its glory has vanished forever. But then a master builder arrives. He studies every stone with patient eyes. He does not throw away the pieces simply because they have fallen. Instead, he carefully lifts each one, cleans away the dust, strengthens the foundation, and places every stone exactly where it belongs. Little by little, the temple rises again. It does not deny the years that have passed, but it stands with even greater strength because it has been rebuilt with wisdom. My beloved child, you are the temple, and I am your master builder. I know where every broken piece belongs. Nothing that has happened in your life has confused me or made me abandon my plan for you. There are parts of your heart that still need my gentle touch. Perhaps trust became difficult after someone betrayed you. Perhaps your confidence faded because repeated disappointments convinced you that you would never be enough. Perhaps you stopped dreaming because too many hopes seemed to disappear. I understand every reason your heart became cautious. I have never judged you for the wounds you carry. Instead, I have patiently waited for you to place those broken pieces into my hands. I cannot restore what you continue to hide from me. Bring everything into my presence, and let my love begin its healing work. Do not believe that rebuilding happens overnight. Even the strongest structures are restored one stone at a time. Sometimes you become discouraged because you expect immediate change. You wonder why complete healing has not arrived after a single prayer or one moment of faith. But my beloved child, every small step you take with me matters. Every act of forgiveness lays another stone. Every choice to trust me strengthens another wall. Every moment you refuse to surrender to hopelessness places another beam into the house I am rebuilding within you. There will be days when you cannot yet recognize the progress because you are standing too close to the work. A painter working on a masterpiece often sees unfinished brushstrokes that appear confusing. Only when the painting is viewed from the proper distance does the beauty become clear. In the same way, you sometimes focus so closely on what still needs healing that you overlook how much has already changed. Pause for a moment and remember who you once were. Remember the fears that no longer control you as they once did. Remember the burdens you have already laid down. Remember the strength you have discovered through seasons you thought would break you. These are signs that my restoring hand hath been faithfully at work. I'm also rebuilding dreams you believed were gone forever. Some dreams will return in a different form than you expected. Others will grow into something even greater than you imagine. Do not cling so tightly to the exact picture you created that you miss the beautiful reality I am preparing. My plans are never smaller than your hopes. They are simply wiser than your expectations. Trust that I know the difference between what you wanted and what will truly bring lasting peace to your life. As I rebuild you, I am strengthening your foundation so that future storms will not shake you as they once did. You are becoming more rooted in my love than in the approval of people. You are becoming more confident in my promises than in changing circumstances. You are learning that your identity is not built upon success or failure, but upon the unchanging truth that you are my beloved child. That foundation cannot be destroyed because it rests upon my eternal faithfulness. So do not lose heart if you still see unfinished places. A house under construction is not abandoned simply because every wall has not yet been completed. The builder continues his work with patience and purpose. I have not stopped working in your life. Every day, I'm restoring what was wounded, strengthening what was weak, and renewing what seemed lost. The broken pieces of yesterday are becoming the testimony of tomorrow. One day you will stand in awe of what I have built from the fragments you once believed it could never be made whole again. Until then, keep trusting me, my beloved child. My hands never grow weary, my wisdom never fails, and my love never stops rebuilding the life I have prepared for you. My beloved child, there have been times when you looked at your own weakness and believed it disqualified you from the future I have prepared. You noticed your limitations more than the gifts I placed within you. You saw your fears more clearly than my faithfulness. You focused on the moments when you stumbled instead of the countless times I lifted you back to your feet. But today I want to gently change the way you see yourself. Your weakness has never been a surprise to me. I knew every struggle you would face long before you were born, and still I chose you, loved you, and called you my own. Many people spend their lives trying to appear strong. They hide their questions behind confident words. They cover their pain with busy schedules. They pretend they have everything under control because they fear that admitting weakness will cause others to think less of them. But my beloved child, you never need to pretend with me. I already know every hidden fear, every silent disappointment, and every burden you carry. There is no mask you need to wear in my presence. I delight in the honesty of a heart that comes to me just as it is. Remember the words I spoke through my servant Paul when he pleaded for his struggle to be removed. I answered him by saying, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Those words were not spoken only for him. They are alive for you today. I am not asking you to become strong enough to live without me. I am inviting you to discover the strength that only comes through depending on me. The places where you feel weakest often become the very places where my power shines most clearly. Imagine a clay jar carrying a precious treasure. To someone looking only at the outside, the jar may seem ordinary. It may even have small cracks formed through years of use. Yet the value of the jar is not found in the clay itself, but in what it carries. In fact, when light shines from within, those small cracks allow the light to reach places it otherwise could not. My beloved child, you are like that vessel. You may see imperfections, but I see someone carrying my love, my peace, and my purpose. The places you once wished to hide have become opportunities for my light to shine through your life. There have been seasons when you asked me to remove every struggle immediately. You wondered why I did not simply erase every challenge from your path. Sometimes I do remove obstacles, but other times I strengthen you as you walk through them. A tree does not become strong because it has never faced the wind. It becomes strong because its roots learn to hold firmly while the storms pass overhead. In the same way, your faith has grown deeper not because life has always been easy, but because I have remained faithful through every difficult season. Do not compare your journey with someone else's. You see only a small part of their story, while I see the whole picture of every life. The gift I have given you are unique. The lessons I am teaching you are personal. The purpose I have designed for you cannot be fulfilled by becoming a copy of someone else. Instead of wishing you possessed another person's strengths, begin thanking me for the ways I am shaping your own heart. Gratitude opens your eyes to blessings that comparison will always hide. My beloved child, never believe that your moments of weakness make you less valuable in my eyes. A loving father does not cherish his child only on the days when everything goes perfectly. His love remains constant through success and failure, through confidence and uncertainty, through victories and setbacks. My love for you has never depended upon your performance. It flows from my heart because you belong to me. Nothing you achieve can make me love you more, and nothing you fail to accomplish can make me love you less. There will be days when you feel as though you have nothing left to give. On those days, come to me instead of trying to carry everything alone. Let my peace become your strength. Let my wisdom guide your decisions. Let my presence quiet the anxious thoughts that tell you you are not enough. You were never meant to carry the weight of your life by yourself. That burden becomes lighter when it rests in my hands. As you continue walking with me, you will begin to notice something beautiful. The very experiences that once made you feel inadequate will become sources of compassion toward others. Because you have known weakness, you will understand those who struggle. Because you have experienced my mercy, you will extend mercy more freely. Because I have lifted you, you will know how to encourage someone who has fallen. Your greatest ministry will not come from pretending you were always strong. It will come from testifying that my strength carried you when your own strength could not. So lift your head, my beloved child. Stop measuring yourself by what you lack and begin seeing yourself through my eyes. I am not discouraged by your weakness. I am ready to fill it with my grace. I am not waiting for you to become perfect before I can use your life. I am already working through every surrendered heart that trusts me. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that my power does not depend upon your perfection. It rests upon my faithfulness, which has never failed and never will. Wherever you feel weakest today, invite me into that place, and you will discover that what you once considered your greatest limitation has become the place where my love and strength shine most brightly. My beloved child, I know the storm you have been walking through has felt longer than you ever expected. There were days when you believed the clouds would never part and the winds would never grow quiet. You prayed for relief, yet the rain continued to fall. You searched the horizon for a sign that brighter days were coming, but all you could see were dark skies stretching before you. In those moments, it was easy to wonder whether the storm had become your permanent home. But listen closely to my voice today. The storm is not the end of your story. It is only a chapter, and I am the author who is still writing. Every storm carries a beginning, a middle, and an end. No rain falls forever, and no night lasts without giving way to morning. The seasons I created remind you of this truth. Winter does not remain throughout the year. Spring patiently follows, bringing life where the earth once seemed silent. In the same way, the difficult season you are experiencing is not your final destination. It is a passage, not a prison. You may be walking through it now, but you will not remain there forever because I am leading you forward. I know that while you have been in this storm, you have asked many questions. You have wondered why I allowed certain hardships into your life. You have questioned why answers seemed delayed and why the path ahead became so difficult. My beloved child, I have never been offended by your honest questions. A loving father does not reject a child for seeking understanding. Yet there are moments when my answer is not an explanation but my presence. Sometimes I calm the storm immediately. At other times, I calm your heart while we walk through it together. Both are acts of my love. Think of a sailor crossing a vast sea. Calm waters are pleasant, but they do not teach the sailor how to navigate strong currents. It is during the storms that the sailor learns where true north is found. He learns to trust the compass when his eyes cannot clearly see the shoreline. He discovers strength he never knew he possessed because the wind challenges him to grow. My beloved child, I have been teaching you to keep your eyes fixed on me, your true compass, even when the waves around you rise higher than you expected. The storm has not been sent to destroy your faith. It hath been shaping it into something deeper and stronger. There have been moments when you believed you were making no progress because everything around you seemed uncertain. But consider this: even when a ship is surrounded by towering waves, it can still be moving steadily toward its destination. The passengers may feel only the rocking of the sea, but the captain knows the course has not changed. My beloved child, I am your captain. Though your emotions may rise and fall with the waves, my direction for your life remains steady. I have not abandoned the destination I prepared for you. Every difficult mile has still been carrying you closer to my purpose. Do not allow temporary pain to convince you that permanent defeat has arrived. The enemy of your peace wants you to believe that this storm defines you. He whispers that because today is difficult, tomorrow will be the same. But I tell you the truth. Your circumstances do not have the authority to write your future. I do. My promises remain unchanged whether the sky is clear or filled with clouds. My faithfulness does not weaken when the winds become strong. I remain the same loving Father in every season of your life. Remember how I have carried you through storms before. There were times you thought you would never recover from heartbreak, yet here you are. There were seasons when you believed you could not endure another day, yet my strength quietly sustained you. There were moments when you feared you had reached the end of hope, only to discover that I was preparing a new beginning beyond what you could see. The same God who was faithful then is faithful now. I have not changed, and neither have my promises. Sometimes storms remove what no longer belongs in your life. Strong winds shake loose branches that were already weak. Heavy rains wash away things that could never remain. While this process may feel painful, it creates room for healthier growth. In the same way, some storms reveal where your trust has been placed. They gently uncover fears, habits, or false securities that need to be surrendered into my hands. I never expose these things to shame you. I reveal them because I desire your freedom. My beloved child, do not fear the thunder. It may be loud, but it cannot silence my voice. Do not fear the lightning. It may flash across the sky, but it cannot extinguish my light within you. Do not fear the wind. It may bend the trees, but it cannot uproot the life that has been deeply planted in my love. You are more secure than your emotions tell you. You are more protected than your circumstances suggest. My hand remains upon your life even when you cannot immediately see the evidence. One day, you will stand on the other side of this season and look back with different eyes. You will recognize how I strengthen your character, deepened your faith, and taught you to trust me in ways you never could have learned during easier days. You will see that every tear became a seed of compassion. Every prayer became a bridge leading you closer to my heart. Every challenge became another testimony of my unwavering faithfulness. So lift your eyes beyond the storm, my beloved child. The clouds do not reach forever. Beyond them my light still shines. Hold tightly to my hand. Continue taking the next faithful step, and refuse to surrender to despair. I am with you in the wind. I am with you in the rain. And I will be with you when the skies grow clear again. This storm is not the conclusion of your story. It is simply the place where you are discovering that my love is stronger than every wave, my peace is greater than every fear, and my promises will carry you safely into the beautiful chapter that still lies ahead. My beloved child, I did not create you merely to survive each day. I did not breathe life into you so that you would simply endure one struggle after another without ever discovering the purpose I placed within your heart. From the very beginning, I formed you with intention. Every gift I gave you, every lesson I allowed you to learn, every season you have walked through has been woven together with loving care. You are not an accident drifting through time. You are a cherished part of a story I have been writing since before you took your first breath. There have been moments when life became so heavy that survival seemed like enough. You woke each morning simply trying to make it through another day. You carried responsibilities that drained your strength. You faced disappointments that tested your hope. You endured seasons when joy felt distant and peace seemed difficult to hold. My beloved child, I understand those moments completely. I have never condemned you for simply holding on. There are times when taking one more step is an act of remarkable courage. But I do not want your heart to believe that surviving is the highest purpose I have prepared for you. I have planted dreams within you that are greater than fear. I have placed compassion within you that can bring comfort to hurting hearts. I have given you unique abilities that reflect my creativity in ways no one else can duplicate. Even the qualities you sometimes overlook are part of my design. Your kindness, your patience, your willingness to listen, your quiet acts of generosity, your perseverance through hardship. These are not ordinary things. They are expressions of my life working through you. Imagine a lamp carefully crafted by a skilled artisan. It is beautifully designed, polished with care, and made to shine brightly. But if that lamp is hidden away in a dark room with its flame never lit, it cannot fulfill the purpose for which it was created. The lamp was not made merely to exist. It was made to bring light. My beloved child, I have not created you simply to occupy space in this world. I have called you to shine with the love, hope, and peace that I have poured into your life. The light within you is not for you alone. It is meant to guide others who are searching for hope in the darkness. Perhaps you have questioned whether your life truly matters. You may have looked at others whose influence seems greater and wondered if your own contribution could ever make a difference. But remember this: I rarely measure significance the way the world does. The world celebrates what is loud, visible, and widely recognized. I often work through what is quiet, faithful, and unseen. A gentle word spoken at the right moment can change a life forever. A simple act of kindness can restore hope to someone standing on the edge of despair. A faithful heart that trusts me each day becomes a testimony more powerful than many speeches. Do not believe the lie that your purpose begins only when everything in your life is perfect. If you wait until every problem is solved before serving others, you may wait forever. Purpose is not postponed until ideal circumstances arrive. It grows as you faithfully walk with me in the middle of ordinary days. Every smile you offer, every prayer you whisper, every act of forgiveness, every decision to choose love over bitterness, becomes part of the beautiful purpose I am unfolding through your life. There was a shepherd boy who faithfully cared for sheep long before anyone imagined he would become a king. There was a young woman who quietly accepted my calling before she understood how greatly her obedience would bless the world. There were fishermen who simply answered my invitation to follow me, never realizing how many lives their faithfulness would one day touch. None of them saw the full picture at the beginning. They simply trusted me one step at a time. My beloved child, your purpose is revealed in much the same way. You do not need to know every detail today. You only need to faithfully respond to the next invitation I place before you. I also want you to understand that your greatest purpose is not found in a title, a position, or the applause of others. Those things may come and go. Your deepest purpose is to reflect my heart wherever you are. Whether you are encouraging one person or many, whether your work is noticed or overlooked, your life carries eternal value when it is lived with love, integrity, and faithfulness. Never underestimate the impact of a heart that chooses to represent my goodness in a world that desperately needs hope. There will be moments when you feel inadequate for the calling I have placed before you. You may think someone else is more gifted, more experienced, or better prepared. But I have never chosen people because they possessed every qualification. I have always delighted in working through willing hearts that trust me. I will supply the wisdom you need. I will provide the strength you lack. I will open the doors that align with my purpose and gently close the ones that do not. You are never asked to fulfill your calling alone. My presence goes with you wherever I lead. So, my beloved child, lift your eyes beyond mere survival. Begin to see yourself through my loving gaze. You are not simply making it through another day. You are growing into the person I created you to become. Every lesson has prepared you. Every trial has strengthened you. Every season has shaped you for the beautiful work ahead. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that your life carries purpose far beyond what you can presently imagine. Continue to trust me, continue to love deeply, continue to serve faithfully, and continue to let your light shine. I am leading you into a life that is not merely endured, but richly lived, filled with meaning, hope, and the quiet joy of walking each day in the purpose I lovingly prepared for you. My beloved child, I am teaching you to hear my whisper. The world around you is filled with noise. Every day, countless voices compete for your attention. Some tell you to hurry. Others tell you to worry. Many insist that your value depends on how much you accomplish, how quickly you succeed, or how closely your life resembles someone else's. These voices speak loudly because they hope to drown out the quiet truth I have been placing within your heart. But my voice has never needed to shout in order to carry authority. I often speak in the stillness, where your soul can finally hear what your anxious thoughts have been missing. There have been times when you asked me for direction while your heart remained overwhelmed by distractions. You searched for dramatic signs and unmistakable miracles, believing that I would only speak through extraordinary events. Yet many of my most life-changing conversations with my children have taken place in quiet moments. A gentle conviction, a peaceful assurance, a simple reminder that settles deeply within the heart. These are often the ways I guide those who choose to remain close to me. Remember the prophet Elijah. After the wind swept across the mountains, after the earthquake shook the ground, and after the fire passed by, I revealed my presence in a gentle whisper. I wanted him to understand that my power is not limited to spectacular displays. My presence can be just as real in quietness as it is in mighty wonders. My beloved child, I speak to you in that same loving way. If your heart is always racing from one distraction to another, you may overlook the whisper that carries the very answer you have been seeking. Imagine a shepherd walking through a wide meadow with his flock. Many sounds fill the air. Birds sing from the trees. The wind moves through the grass. Nearby streams gently flow over smooth stones. Yet when the shepherd softly calls, his sheep recognize his voice above every other sound. They do not follow because his voice is the loudest. They follow because they have learned to know him through daily closeness. My beloved child, I desire that same relationship with you. I do not want you to know me only during moments of crisis. I want you to recognize my voice because we have walked together day after day, season after season. There are moments when you ask me to reveal your entire future. You hope for certainty that removes every question. But often I give you something even greater than complete information. I give you my presence. When you know my heart, you can walk with confidence even when every detail has not yet been revealed. The goal is not simply to know where you are going. The greater gift is knowing the one who is leading you there. My beloved child, I invite you to create moments of quietness in your life. Step away from the endless demands that constantly pull at your attention. Let your soul breathe. Sit with me without feeling pressured to fill every moment with words. Sometimes the deepest conversations happen when you simply rest in my presence. Just as close friends can sit together in peaceful silence, your heart can find strength simply by remaining near me. Do not mistake silence for absence. There are seasons when I seem quiet because I am teaching you to trust what I have already spoken. A loving teacher does not repeat every instruction during every step of the lesson. Instead, the teacher watches with confidence as the student applies what has already been learned. In the same way, I have planted many truths within your heart. When I seem silent, remember my promises. Remember my faithfulness. Remember how I have guided you before. My silence is never empty. It is often filled with my quiet work beneath the surface. You may wonder how to recognize my voice among so many others. My voice will never lead you toward fear, bitterness, or hopelessness. I lead you toward peace, even when the journey requires courage. I speak truth with love. I correct without condemning. I guide without humiliating. I invite rather than force. When your heart is uncertain, ask yourself which voice reflects my character. The voice that draws you closer to love, humility, forgiveness, and hope is the one that carries my heart. There will also be times when I answer your prayers through unexpected people, ordinary conversations, or simple moments you might otherwise overlook. A kind word from a friend. A passage of scripture that seems written just for your situation. A quiet feeling of peace that settles over your heart after many restless nights. Do not underestimate these moments. I delight in reminding you that my presence fills both the extraordinary and the ordinary parts of your life. My beloved child, the more you listen for my whisper, the more familiar it will become. Just as a child easily recognizes the voice of a loving parent in a crowded room, your heart will grow in confidence as you continue walking with me. Do not become discouraged if you are still learning. Every relationship deepens with time, and I am infinitely patient. I rejoice every time you turn your attention toward me, no matter how small that moment may seem. So quiet your anxious thoughts and release the need to chase every distracting voice. Come into my presence with an open heart. Let my peace settle over your mind like the gentle morning dew resting upon the fields. I am closer than you realize. I have not stopped speaking. I have not grown distant. I am whispering words of life, wisdom, comfort, and direction into your heart even now. Stay close to me, my beloved child, and you will discover that my gentle whisper is strong enough to guide you through every decision, every season, and every step of the beautiful journey that still lies ahead. My beloved child, there is something I gently ask you to place into my hands today. It is heavier than you were ever meant to carry, yet you have held on to it for far too long. It is the burden of unforgiveness. I know why it is difficult to release. I know the words that wounded you. I know the promises that were broken. I know the trust that was betrayed. I know the nights when you lay awake wondering why someone could cause such pain. I have seen every tear that no one else noticed, and I have heard every silent cry that never found its way into spoken words. Nothing that happened to you escaped my attention. My beloved child, I am not asking you to pretend the pain was small. I am not asking you to call evil good or to ignore injustice. I know the difference between what was right and what was wrong. My invitation to forgive is not a denial of your wounds. It is an invitation to freedom. Unforgiveness often feels like holding on to justice, but over time it becomes a chain wrapped around your own heart. The person who hurt you may continue living without realizing the weight you carry, while you remain burdened by memories that steal your peace. I never desired that for you. Imagine a traveler crossing a long mountain trail while carrying a heavy sack filled with large stones. At first, the traveler believes the weight is manageable. But as the journey continues, every step becomes more difficult. The climb grows steeper, the shoulders ache, and exhaustion begins to take over. Along the path stands a loving guide who says, "You do not have to carry those stones anymore. Leave them here, and continue the journey with lighter steps." The traveler hesitates, because those stones have been carried for so long that they feel strangely familiar. Yet the moment the burden is laid down, strength begins to return. My beloved child, those stones represent every hurt, every resentment, every memory you have been carrying alone. I am inviting you to place them into my hands. Not because they never mattered, but because I cared too much to watch them crush your spirit. Forgiveness does not always happen in a single moment. Sometimes it is a choice you make again and again as old memories return. There may be days when the wound seems quiet, only for it to ache again without warning. Do not become discouraged. Healing and forgiveness often walk together. Each time you choose to release the offense into my hands instead of feeding bitterness, your heart grows a little freer. My grace will meet you in every step of that journey. Remember how often I have extended mercy to you. There have been moments when you misunderstood my ways, doubted my timing, or wandered into paths that brought unnecessary pain. Yet I never stopped loving you. I never turned my back on you. I welcomed you with compassion and patiently guided you back toward peace. My forgiveness has never been earned by perfection. It has always flowed from my love. As you receive that same mercy, you will discover the strength to extend it to others, even when it feels impossible through your own strength. There are people you may never receive an apology from. They may never recognize the pain they caused. They may never attempt to make things right. If your peace depends upon their repentance, you will remain waiting for something beyond your control. But your freedom does not depend upon their response. It depends upon your willingness to trust me with justice. I see what others have overlooked. I know every hidden truth. Nothing escapes my righteous eyes. You do not have to carry the responsibility of being both wounded and judge. Place the matter into my hands, where perfect justice and perfect mercy meet. My beloved child, forgiveness also includes releasing the anger you have carried toward yourself. There are times when you have replayed your own mistakes with harshness that I never intended. You have spoken to yourself with words you would never speak to someone you love. You have struggled to believe that you could truly move forward after what happened. But if I have forgiven you, why do you continue to hold yourself captive? Accept the mercy I freely offer. Do not keep reopening wounds that my grace has already begun to heal. Think of a river flowing steadily toward the sea. The water does not cling to every branch and stone it passes along the way. It continues moving forward, leaving behind what cannot travel with it. If the river stopped to hold every obstacle, it would cease to flow. My beloved child, I have created your life to move forward with hope. Do not allow yesterday's hurts to stop the living water I have placed within your heart. Let my love keep you moving toward the future I have prepared. As you choose forgiveness, you may not immediately feel lighter, but with each act of surrender, I will quietly lift the burden from your soul. Peace will begin to replace bitterness. Compassion will slowly soften the places where anger once lived. Joy will return to rooms within your heart that have remained closed for far too long. This is not because the past has been erased, but because my healing has become greater than your pain. So come to me now, my beloved child. Bring every wound, every disappointment, every name, every memory, and every hidden sorrow. You do not have to carry them any longer. Lay them at my feet and trust that I will hold what you cannot. I will strengthen your heart, restore your peace, and teach you to walk in the freedom that forgiveness brings. The journey ahead is too beautiful to travel while carrying yesterday's burdens. Let them go, and walk forward with me into the life of peace, healing, and hope that I have lovingly prepared for you. My beloved child, there is a truth I want you to hear so deeply that it settles into every corner of your heart. I have never stopped loving you. Not for a single moment. Not when you felt strong, and not when you felt weak. Not when your faith seemed steady, and not when questions filled your mind. Not when you celebrated victories, and not when you sat quietly among the broken pieces of your dreams. My love has never depended on the changing seasons of your life. It has remained constant because it flows from who I am, not from what you have done. There have been times when you believed my love had grown distant because your circumstances became difficult. You wondered if the silence meant I had turned away. You questioned whether your failures had created a distance too great to overcome. My beloved child, those thoughts have never come from my heart. There is nothing you could ever face that would cause me to stop loving you. There is no mistake so great that my mercy cannot reach it. There is no valley so deep that my presence cannot find you there. Wherever you have gone, my love has followed, patiently waiting for you to lift your eyes and remember that I have never left your side. Sometimes you have judged my love by your feelings. On days when peace filled your heart, you believed I was near. On days when anxiety returned, you feared I had gone away. But my presence is not measured by your emotions. The sun continues shining even when thick clouds hide it from view. The clouds may change what you can see, but they cannot change the reality of the sun's light. In the same way, difficult emotions may temporarily cloud your awareness of my presence, but they can never separate you from my love. I remain with you even when your heart feels weary and your mind feels uncertain. Imagine a father standing at the edge of a long road, watching for the return of a beloved child who wandered far from home. Every day he looks toward the horizon with hope. He does not prepare words of condemnation. He prepares an embrace. He does not count the days of absence with bitterness. He waits with love. The moment he sees his child returning, he runs forward with open arms. My beloved child, that is my heart toward you. I have never stood at a distance with folded arms, waiting for you to earn your way back into my presence. I have always been ready to welcome you with compassion, grace, and joy. Here are voices that have tried to convince you that you must become more worthy before you can fully receive my love. They tell you that once you overcome every weakness, once you solve every problem, once you become more disciplined, then perhaps I will delight in you. But listen carefully. You cannot earn what I freely give. My love is not a reward for perfect behavior. It is the foundation from which true transformation begins. I love you first, and my love gives you the strength to grow. I do not wait for you to become flawless before calling you my beloved child. I call you my beloved child because you belong to me. I know there are moments when you struggle to forgive yourself. You remember words you wish you had never spoken. You think about choices you would gladly change if you could. You carry regrets that quietly whisper you are no longer worthy of hope. But if I have chosen not to hold your past against you, why do you continue holding it against yourself? My mercy is greater than your regret. My grace is deeper than your guilt. When you bring your failures to me with a sincere heart, I do not preserve them as evidence against you. I transform them into reminders of my restoring love. My beloved child, I also want you to know that nothing can replace your place in my heart. The world may compare people according to talent, success, appearance, or influence, but I do not measure my children that way. I know each of you by name. I delight in the unique person I created you to be. There has never been another you, and there never will be. The gifts I placed within you, the compassion I formed in your heart, the purpose I prepared for your life are part of a beautiful design that cannot be duplicated. Think of the stars that fill the night sky. Each one shines with its own beauty. None competes with the others for its place. Together they create a breathtaking display that reveals my creativity. In the same way, I have not asked you to become someone else. I have asked you to become fully the person I created you to be. When you stop comparing your journey with others and begin embracing my love for you, your heart finds a peace that comparison could never provide. Even now, I am drawing you closer. Every time you choose to spend a quiet moment with me, every time you whisper a prayer, every time you trust me despite unanswered questions, our relationship grows deeper. I delight in those moments more than you realize. I am not distant from you. I am near. I am not impatient with your growth. I am patient. I am not disappointed that you are still learning. I rejoice that you continue walking with me. So rest in this truth today, my beloved child. You are fully known, and you are fully loved. You do not have to strive to earn my affection. You do not have to fear that one difficult season will cause me to turn away. My love has remained faithful through every chapter of your story, and it will remain faithful through every chapter yet to come. Let this truth become the foundation beneath your feet and the song within your heart. I have never stopped loving you. I will never stop loving you, and nothing in all creation will ever separate you from the everlasting love I have for you. My beloved child, I know the waiting has not been easy. There have been days when you looked toward the horizon, hoping this would finally be the day your prayer would be answered. You counted the passing weeks, the changing seasons, and the silent moments when it seemed as though nothing had changed. You asked me why the promise had not yet arrived. You wondered if perhaps you had misunderstood my voice or if you had somehow been forgotten. But I tell you today with all the love of a faithful father, your waiting season has never been empty. It has been working for you in ways you could not yet see. The world often teaches you that waiting is wasted time. It encourages you to believe that if something is taking too long, it must be failing. But my kingdom does not operate according to hurried timelines. I do not rush what requires careful preparation. I do not force open flowers before they are ready to bloom. I do not harvest fruit before it has reached its fullness. Everything I create follows a season, and every season carries purpose. The same is true for your life. Think about the quiet beauty of winter. At first glance, the trees appear lifeless. Their branches stand bare against the sky, and the fields seem empty. Many would assume that nothing is happening. Yet beneath the frozen ground, roots remain alive. They are growing stronger, storing strength for the season that is still to come. Spring does not begin on the day the first flower appears. It begins long before, in the hidden places where no human eye can see. My beloved child, your waiting season has been like that winter. What appears still on the surface has been filled with unseen growth beneath. While you have been waiting for the answer, I have been preparing your heart to receive it. I have been strengthening your character so that success will not make you forget humility. I have been teaching you patience so that blessings will not become idols. I have been deepening your compassion so that when others face the same kind of waiting, you will know how to encourage them with gentleness instead of empty words. Nothing you have experienced has been without purpose. There were moments when you asked me to move immediately, believing that delay meant denial. Yet had I answered some prayers at the exact moment you requested them, you would have stepped into situations before you were ready. I was not withholding goodness from you. I was protecting the goodness I intended to give you. A wise father does not place a heavy responsibility into the hands of a child before the child has grown strong enough to carry it. In the same way, I have been preparing you for blessings that require greater wisdom, deeper faith, and a steadier heart. Imagine a master potter shaping clay upon the wheel. The clay may wonder why the process takes so long. It cannot understand why the potter continues smoothing, pressing, and refining. But the potter knows that if the vessel is removed too soon, it will not be strong enough for its purpose. Every careful touch adds strength. Every turn of the wheel prepares it to carry something valuable. My beloved child, you are that vessel. I have been shaping you with patient hands because I know what I have designed you to carry. Do not compare your waiting with someone else's journey. You see only a small part of their story, while I see every beginning, every middle, and every ending. Some seeds bloom quickly. Others grow into mighty trees that provide shelter for generations. Both have value, but their seasons are different. I have never measured your life against another person's timeline. I ask only that you remain faithful where you are, trusting that my timing is always guided by perfect love. My beloved child, I have noticed every time you chose hope when disappointment tempted you to quit. I saw the prayers you continued to whisper even after months of silence. I saw the kindness you showed others while carrying your own unanswered questions. I saw your quiet faithfulness when no one else applauded it. None of those moments has shaped my attention. In my eyes, they have become precious treasures. They reveal a heart that continues to trust me even when the destination is not yet visible. There is a strength that can only be born through waiting. It is the quiet confidence that no longer depends upon immediate results. It is the peace that grows when you realize my presence is more valuable than quick answers. It is the unwavering faith that says, even if I cannot yet see the promise, I know the one who made it. That kind of faith cannot be shaken by delays because it is rooted in my unchanging character rather than changing circumstances. The day will come when what you have been waiting for begins to unfold before your eyes. When that moment arrives, you will see connections you could never have understood while you were still in the waiting. You will recognize how every delay protected you, how every lesson prepared you, and how every quiet season strengthened you. You will realize that I was never asking you to stand still without purpose. I was inviting you to grow into the person who could fully embrace the gift I had prepared. So do not lose heart, my beloved child. Do not allow impatience to steal the peace I am offering you today. Continue to walk faithfully, continue to trust deeply, and continue to rest in my promises. Winter never has the final word. Spring always comes in its appointed time. In the same way, your waiting season will give way to fulfillment according to my perfect wisdom. Until that day arrives, remember this: every moment of waiting has been held in my hands, every tear has been counted, every prayer has been heard, and every step has been leading you closer to the beautiful future I have lovingly prepared for you. My beloved child, I am strengthening you for what is ahead. You have sometimes mistaken my preparation for delay, but there is a difference. A delay simply postpones something. Preparation transforms someone. I have never been interested in giving you blessings without also giving you the strength to carry them. I know what lies ahead of you, and because I love you, I am shaping your heart before I place greater responsibility into your hands. There have been days when you asked me why life seemed to demand so much from you. You wondered why the lessons felt difficult and why the challenges seemed to arrive one after another. You questioned whether you had done something wrong to deserve such a demanding season. But my beloved child, I do not train you because I want to see you struggle. I prepare you because I know what you are capable of becoming through my grace. Every challenge has been building spiritual strength that comfort alone could never produce. Think of a blacksmith standing beside a glowing forge. He places a piece of iron into the fire, not to destroy it, but to make it strong. At the right moment, he carefully shapes it with steady hands. The process is intense, yet every strike has purpose. When the work is complete, the iron has become something far stronger and more useful than it was before. My beloved child, there have been moments when life felt like that forge. You wondered why the heat was so intense. You questioned why the shaping seemed so demanding. Yet I was never trying to break you. I was preparing you to become stronger than you imagined possible. Remember how a great tree grows. Its strength is not measured during calm weather. It is revealed when powerful winds sweep across the land. The deeper the roots, the steadier the tree remains. That is why I have spent so much time strengthening your roots. I want your peace to remain steady when circumstances change. I want your faith to stand firm when questions arise. I want your hope to endure when the world around you becomes uncertain. Deep roots are not formed in a single day. They grow quietly through seasons of trust, patience, and perseverance. You have prayed for greater opportunity, and I have heard every prayer. But understand this: greater opportunities often require greater character. Influence requires humility. Leadership requires compassion. Blessings require wisdom. I care too deeply about you to place you into situations where success would become a burden because your heart had not yet been prepared. That is why I continue refining you. Every lesson you learn today will become a source of strength tomorrow. There are moments when training feels repetitive. You may wonder why certain lessons seem to return again and again. You ask yourself, have I not already learned this? Yet each season reveals another layer of growth. A musician does not practice the same notes because they have forgotten them. They practice because repetition transforms skill into instinct. In the same way, I sometimes allow familiar situations to return so that patience, forgiveness, courage, and faith become deeply rooted within you rather than remaining temporary emotions. My beloved child, do not become discouraged by the process. A mountain climber does not gain strength by standing at the summit. Strength is built while taking one difficult step after another along the path. Every climb stretches the muscles. Every challenge develops endurance. Every obstacle teaches wisdom. By the time the summit is reached, the climber has become someone capable of standing there. So it is with you. I am not simply leading you toward a destination. I am shaping the person who will arrive there. There will be people whose lives are changed because of the strength you are gaining now. One day, someone will come to you carrying the same fears you once faced. They will wonder if hope is still possible. They will question whether healing can truly come. Because you have walked through difficult seasons with me, you will be able to speak with compassion instead of empty advice. Your testimony will carry weight because it has been formed through experience. The comfort I have poured into your life will overflow into theirs. Do not measure your growth only by visible achievements. Sometimes the greatest victories happen within your heart. The fact that you now respond with peace where you once reacted with fear is growth. The fact that you choose forgiveness where bitterness once lived is growth. The fact that you continue trusting me despite unanswered questions is growth. These quiet transformations matter deeply because they reveal that my spirit is shaping you from the inside out. My beloved child, I also want you to remember that you are never preparing alone. I am not standing at a distance, watching to see whether you succeed or fail. I am walking beside you through every lesson. When you grow tired, my strength becomes your strength. When you lack wisdom, I gladly give it. When your heart feels overwhelmed, my peace surrounds you. Every step of preparation is filled with my presence because I have never asked you to carry this journey by yourself. So embrace the season with hope instead of frustration. Do not resent the training that is making you stronger. Welcome the lessons that deepen your faith. Trust the process that my loving hands have designed specifically for you. The future I have prepared is worth every moment of preparation. One day you will look back and realize that the challenges you once questioned became the very foundation beneath your greatest victories. Continue walking with me, my beloved child. I am strengthening your heart, refining your character, and preparing you for blessings that are greater than anything you have dared to imagine. The road ahead is filled with purpose, and I am faithfully equipping you for every step that still awaits. My beloved child, my peace is stronger than your circumstances. I know there are moments when everything around you seems uncertain. The news of trouble reaches your ears. Unexpected changes interrupt your plans. Questions remain unanswered, and your heart begins to wonder how you will make it through another day. It is easy to believe that peace can only exist when every problem has been solved. But I want to teach you a deeper truth. The peace I give does not depend on perfect circumstances. It depends on my unchanging presence. The world often offers a kind of peace that is temporary. It says, you will finally rest when everything goes according to your plan. But plans can change. People can disappoint you. Health can fluctuate. Opportunities can come and go. If your peace is built upon things that constantly change, then your heart will rise and fall with every new circumstance. I have called you to something far greater. I have called you to rest in the one who never changes. Think about a lighthouse standing firmly upon a rocky shore. Powerful waves crash against the cliffs. Fierce winds howled through the night. Storm clouds cover the sky, and rain falls without mercy. Yet the light continues to shine. The storm does not give the lighthouse its purpose, nor can the storm take that purpose away. It remains steady because its foundation is secure. My beloved child, I desire for your heart to become like that lighthouse. I do not promise that every storm will disappear immediately, but I promise that my light within you will remain steady through every storm you face. There have been times when anxiety quietly entered your thoughts before you even realized it was there. One small concern became another. One unanswered question led to 10 imagined fears. Before long, your heart became weary from carrying burdens that had not even happened. My beloved child, do not allow your imagination to become a place where fear writes stories that I never intended. Bring those thoughts to me. Place every worry into my hands. I already know tomorrow, and I am already present there. When my son walked upon the waters, the wind was still blowing, and the waves were still rising. The miracle was not that the storm immediately vanished. The miracle was that faith became greater than fear. Peter walked as long as his eyes remained fixed on my Son instead of the waves around him. In the same way, your peace grows stronger when your attention remains fixed upon me rather than constantly measuring the size of the storm. What you continually focus on will shape the condition of your heart. I know that some burdens you carry are very real. They are not imaginary fears. They involve loved ones, finances, health, relationships, and decisions that weigh heavily upon your soul. I do not ask you to pretend those burdens do not exist. I invite you to stop carrying them alone. There is a great difference between acknowledging a burden and allowing that burden to rule your heart. Bring everything to me. Nothing is too small for my attention, and nothing is too great for my power. Imagine a little child traveling through a crowded marketplace while holding the hand of a loving father. The child hears unfamiliar voices, sees many distractions, and feels surrounded by uncertainty. Yet there is no panic because the child's confidence is not found in understanding every direction of the road. The confidence comes from knowing whose hand is being held. My beloved child, I invite you to live with that same trust. You do not need to understand every detail of the journey when you know that my hand is firmly holding yours. Peace also grows when gratitude fills your heart. I know this may seem difficult during challenging seasons, but gratitude reminds you of my faithfulness. When you remember how I carried you through yesterday's trials, your faith becomes stronger for today's challenges. Think about the prayers I have already answered. Remember the doors I have opened, the dangers I have quietly turned away, the strength I have given you when you believe you had none left. Every memory of my faithfulness becomes another stone upon which your confidence can stand. My beloved child, guard your heart carefully. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every fearful prediction deserves your belief. Fill your mind with my promises more often than you fill it with worry. Spend more time remembering my goodness than imagining your defeat. As my truth settles into your heart, anxiety begins to lose its power. Fear grows weaker where faith is continually nourished. There will still be days when tears come. There will still be moments when you feel tired. Peace does not mean you will never experience emotion. It means that beneath every emotion, there is a deeper confidence that I remain with you. Even when your heart trembles, my presence remains steady. Even when you do not know what tomorrow holds, I already stand there preparing the way. So rest now, my beloved child. Release the burdens you have been carrying so tightly. Lay every anxious thought before me. Breathe deeply in my presence, and remember that I am your refuge, your strength, and your constant companion. The world around you may continue to change, but my love never changes. My promises never fail. My peace cannot be shaken by the storms of life because it flows from my eternal heart. Walk forward with quiet confidence, knowing that wherever the road may lead, my peace will go before you, surround you, and remain within you, carrying you safely through every season until you stand in the fullness of all I have prepared for your life. My beloved child, I want you to remember something that fear often tries to make you forget. You are not walking this road alone. There have been moments when loneliness settled over your heart like a heavy mist. Even while surrounded by people, you felt unseen. Even when conversations filled the room, your deepest thoughts remained unspoken. You wondered if anyone truly understood the weight you carried. But I have always understood. Before you could find the words to describe your pain, I already knew it. Before you realized how weary your heart had become, I was already drawing near to strengthen you. There are seasons when loneliness is not caused by the absence of people but by the feeling that no one truly understands your journey. You have walked through experiences that others could not fully comprehend. You smiled when your heart was breaking. You encouraged others while quietly searching for encouragement yourself. You remained faithful while wondering if anyone noticed the sacrifices you were making. My beloved child, I noticed every one of them. Not a single act of love, not a single quiet prayer, not a single faithful step has escaped my attention. Remember the shepherd who walks with his flock through the valley. The sheep do not always understand why the path leads through dark places instead of around them. They hear unfamiliar sounds echoing through the hills. Shadows stretch across the ground, and uncertainty fills the air. Yet the shepherd never leaves the flock to face the valley alone. He walks among them, guiding each step with steady hands. His presence becomes their confidence. My beloved child, I am your shepherd. When you pass through valleys, I do not remain on distant mountaintops waiting for you to return. I walk beside you in the darkest places because my love does not retreat when life becomes difficult. There have been days when you questioned whether your prayers were reaching me because the answer seemed slow to arrive. Silence tempted you to believe that you had been forgotten. But silence has never meant separation. Consider a mother sitting beside the bed of her sleeping child. She may not speak throughout the night, yet her presence remains constant. She watches with loving care, ready to respond the moment she is needed. In the same way, my quietness has never meant my absence. I have remained near, watching over you with perfect love even when my voice seemed gentle and still. My beloved child, there are also people I have placed along your journey as expressions of my care. Sometimes they arrive as lifelong friends. Sometimes they remain only for a season. Some encourage you through words. Others strengthen you simply by standing beside you during difficult moments. Receive these relationships with gratitude. But remember that even the most faithful human companion cannot replace my presence. People may sometimes misunderstand you. They may become busy with their own struggles. They may not always know the right words to say. But I never grow weary of listening to your heart. You will never interrupt me, and you will never become a burden to my love. Imagine a child learning to hike a mountain trail with a loving father. The path becomes steep, and the child's legs begin to grow tired. Looking upward, the summit seems impossibly far away. The child wonders if continuing is even possible. The father does not simply point toward the top and say, "Keep climbing." He reaches out his hand. Sometimes he carries the child over difficult places. Sometimes he slows his own pace so they can walk together. His greatest concern is not reaching the summit quickly but making sure his beloved child never feels abandoned along the way. My beloved child, this is how I journey with you. There have been many times when you thought your own strength carried you forward, yet it was my unseen hand supporting every step. Do not believe the lie that asking for help is a sign of weakness. I created you for relationship, with me and with others. There is strength in humility. There is courage in allowing trusted people to pray with you, encourage you, and remind you of my promises when your own heart grows tired. Just as I comfort you, I often comfort others through you. And just as I strengthen them through your kindness, I may strengthen you through theirs. My love flows through the family of faith in beautiful and unexpected ways. There are moments ahead when you will walk into places you have never been before. New responsibilities will arise. New opportunities will appear. At times, unfamiliar paths may cause uncertainty to whisper once again. But do not forget what I have shown you throughout your journey. I have never led you into a place where my presence could not sustain you. Every unfamiliar road has become another opportunity for you to discover how faithful I truly am. My beloved child, when loneliness tries to speak louder than truth, remember my promises. When fear tells you that no one understands, remember that I know every thought before it reaches your lips. When discouragement tells you to give up because the journey feels too difficult, remember that I am carrying you in ways you cannot always see. You are surrounded by my love even when your emotions struggle to feel it. You are held securely in my hands even when the path becomes uncertain. So lift your eyes once more. Listen for my voice above every lonely thought. Feel the quiet assurance of my presence surrounding your heart. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not wandering through life without direction. I am with you in every valley, every mountain, every quiet morning, and every sleepless night. Wherever your journey leads, I will walk beside you. Wherever your heart grows weary, I will become your strength. And wherever you wonder if anyone truly sees you, remember this everlasting truth. I have always seen you, I have always loved you, and I will never leave you nor forsake you, my beloved child. My beloved child, never underestimate the power of a single faithful step. You live in a world that often celebrates dramatic moments, instant success, and visible achievements. It is easy to believe that only great victories matter. You may look at your own life and wonder whether your small acts of obedience are making any difference at all. You pray quietly. You choose kindness when no one notices. You continue trusting me even when the results are not immediately visible. Sometimes you ask yourself if these small choices truly matter. I want you to hear my answer today. Every step of faith matters. Nothing done in love and obedience is ever wasted in my kingdom. There have been days when you felt discouraged because your progress seemed slow. You compared yourself to others and imagined they were moving ahead while you remained in the same place. But my beloved child, growth is rarely as dramatic as people expect. The strongest foundations are built one stone at a time. The deepest rivers are formed by countless drops of water flowing together over many years. Lasting transformation happens through faithful consistency far more often than through sudden change. Think about an acorn resting quietly in the soil. It appears so small that many would overlook it completely. No one passing by would imagine that within that tiny seed rests the potential for a mighty oak tree. Yet day after day, hidden beneath the surface, the acorn sends roots deeper into the earth. It does not become a towering tree overnight. It grows slowly, patiently, season after season. Years later, birds find shelter in its branches, travelers rest beneath its shade, and generations benefit from what once seemed insignificant. My beloved child, many of your faithful choices are like that small seed. You cannot yet see everything they will become, but I can. Every prayer you offer, every act of forgiveness, every moment of patience, every decision to trust me is taking root in ways that will bless not only your life, but also the lives of many others. Do not despise small beginnings. I have often chosen humble beginnings to accomplish extraordinary purposes. A shepherd's staff became a symbol of deliverance. A small lunch became enough to feed a multitude. A tiny mustard seed became an image of faith capable of growing beyond imagination. I delight in using what appears small because it reminds my children that the power belongs to me, not to the size of the beginning. There may be mornings when you wake and feel as though your prayers are accomplishing little. You continue speaking to me, yet the answer seemed delayed. You continue serving others, yet appreciation is scarce. You continue choosing integrity while others seem to prosper through easier paths. In those moments, remember that faithfulness is never measured only by what you can immediately see. I see every unseen act. I treasure every quiet sacrifice. I remember every choice to honor me when no one else is watching. Imagine a skilled mason building a great cathedral. Day after day, he carefully places one stone upon another. Some days, his work seems repetitive. From the outside, it may appear that very little has changed. Yet with every stone, the structure grows stronger. Years later, people stand in awe of the completed masterpiece, forgetting that its beauty was built through thousands of ordinary moments of faithful labor. My beloved child, I am building something beautiful through your daily obedience. Never think that today's small act of faith has no place in tomorrow's testimony. I also want you to understand that faithfulness shapes your heart as much as it shapes your future. Every time you choose love over resentment, your heart becomes more like mine. Every time you choose honesty over compromise, your character grows stronger. Every time you continue trusting me despite uncertainty, your roots sink deeper into my promises. These inner changes may not receive applause from the world, but they bring great joy to my heart because they reveal the beautiful work my Spirit is accomplishing within you. There will be times when you are tempted to give up simply because you cannot yet see the harvest. Do not stop planting seeds because the field has not yet blossomed. Farmers do not abandon their work after a few days simply because the crops remain beneath the soil. They continue watering, trusting that life is growing where their eyes cannot yet see. In the same way, continue sowing kindness. Continue sowing faith. Continue sowing hope. Continue sowing love. The harvest will come in its appointed season. My beloved child, your consistency speaks louder than occasional moments of greatness. A heart that faithfully follows me day after day becomes a light that others can trust. People are strengthened not only by grand testimonies but also by quiet examples of steadfast faith. Someone is watching your life more closely than you realize. They are learning about my faithfulness through the way you continue walking with me. Your perseverance may become the very encouragement that helps another weary soul refuse to give up. So do not lose heart because today's steps seem small. Lift your eyes beyond the present moment. Remember that I see the whole journey while you see only the next few steps. Continue placing one faithful foot in front of the other. Continue trusting my timing. Continue believing my promises. Every act of obedience is becoming another thread in the beautiful tapestry I am weaving through your life. Walk forward with quiet confidence, my beloved child. The smallest step taken with me is greater than the greatest achievement pursued without me. Your faithfulness is not unnoticed. Your perseverance is not forgotten. Your quiet obedience is producing eternal fruit. Keep walking, keep trusting, and keep believing, because I am turning every small step of faith into a legacy of hope, strength, and blessing that will reach farther than you can presently imagine. My beloved child, I am making all things beautiful in their time. I know that waiting has tested your patience more than you ever expected. There have been moments when you looked at your life and wondered why certain prayers remained unanswered while others around you seemed to receive what they longed for. You questioned whether the timing of your life had somehow fallen behind. You watched doors open for others while you continued standing in front of closed ones. At times, you'd even wondered if you had missed the season I intended for you. But my beloved child, I have never been late, and I have never forgotten the promises I placed within your heart. What I am preparing is unfolding according to my perfect time, not according to the hurried pace of the world. The world measures time by calendars, clocks, and deadlines. It tells you that if something has not happened by a certain age or within a certain season, then you have somehow fallen behind. But I do not measure your life by comparison. I measure it by purpose. I know the exact moment when every blessing will bring the greatest good. I know when your heart is ready. I know when the people around you are ready. I know when every detail has been carefully woven together. What feels like delay to you is often my loving precision at work. Think of a vineyard carefully tended by a wise gardener. Every vine grows at its own pace. Some produce fruit earlier, while others require more time before their branches are ready to bear a full harvest. The gardener does not become impatient with the slower vine. He continues watering it, pruning it, protecting it from harm, and allowing it to mature. He knows that fruit picked too early lacks sweetness, while fruit gathered at the right time carries richness and fullness. My beloved child, I am your gardener. I know exactly when the fruit of your life will reach its greatest beauty. Trust my timing, for I never harvest too soon, and I never forget the vine that is still growing. There have been seasons when you wanted immediate answers because uncertainty felt uncomfortable. You believed that if I would simply reveal the entire future, your heart could finally rest. But if I showed you everything at once, you might rely on the plan instead of trusting the planner. I desire something even more precious than your certainty. I desire your closeness. Through every season of waiting, you have been learning to depend on my heart more than your own understanding. That relationship is a treasure greater than any temporary blessing. You not become discouraged when life unfolds differently than you expected. Sometimes the path I choose for you takes unexpected turns because I am protecting you from dangers you cannot yet see or leading you toward opportunities you never imagined. A river does not complain because it cannot flow in a perfectly straight line. It bends around rocks, curves through valleys, and continues moving toward the sea. Every turn serves a purpose. In the same way, the unexpected changes in your journey have not taken you away from my plan. They have been part of the path that leads you toward it. My beloved child, there are blessings that could not have been entrusted to the person you were 5 years ago. The wisdom you now carry came through experiences that once seemed painful. The compassion you now offer others was born through your own seasons of sorrow. The patience you are learning today will become one of your greatest strengths tomorrow. If I had removed every challenge from your path, you would have missed the beautiful transformation taking place within your heart. I have not been shaping only your circumstances. I have been shaping you. Remember how the dawn arrives each morning. The sun does not leap instantly to its highest place in the sky. It rises gradually, filling the heavens with light little by little. The first rays appear quietly, almost unnoticed. Then the colors spread across the horizon until darkness gently gives way to day. My work in your life often follows that same pattern. I rarely rush what I intend to make lasting. I allow hope to grow steadily, faith to deepen patiently, and joy to mature completely. The beauty of the sunrise is not only found in its destination, but also in the gentle unfolding of its light. There may be moments when impatience whispers that you should force doors open through your own effort. Be careful, my beloved child. Not every opportunity is meant for you simply because it is available. Wait for my peace to guide your steps. The doors I open will never require you to abandon the values I have written upon your heart. My blessings do not demand that you sacrifice your integrity. My provision never asks you to compromise your character. Trust that what I provide in my timing will bring peace instead of confusion. As you continue this journey with me, celebrate the season you are in instead of constantly longing for the next one. There are lessons to learn today that will strengthen you for tomorrow. There are moments of grace available now that should not be overlooked because your eyes are fixed only on what has not yet arrived. I am present in this moment just as surely as I will be present in the fulfillment of every promise. So rest in my timing, my beloved child. Release the pressure to compare your journey with anyone else's. Your story is unfolding according to the loving wisdom of the one who knows your beginning, your middle, and your end. I am making all things beautiful in their time, including the parts of your life that still seem unfinished. Continue to trust me. Continue to walk faithfully. Continue to believe that every season has purpose. When the appointed time arrives, you will look back with gratitude and realize that my timing was never late. It was always perfect, always loving, and always leading you toward a beauty far greater than you could have imagined on your own. My beloved child, the light ahead is brighter than the darkness behind. I know there have been seasons when the shadows of your past seemed to stretch farther than the hope of your future. There were days when painful memories appeared stronger than joyful expectations. You look back at what had been lost, what had been broken, and what had been delayed, wondering if those chapters would always define the road ahead. But I want you to lift your eyes today. Do not measure your future by the darkness you have already walked through. Measure it by the light that I am leading you toward. The enemy of your peace often tries to convince you that yesterday will repeat itself forever. He whispers that because you have known disappointment, you should expect more disappointment. Because you have experienced heartbreak, you should protect yourself from ever hoping again. Because you have faced failure, you should no longer believe that victory is possible. But those whispers are not my voice. I have never called you to live as a prisoner of yesterday. I have called you to walk as a child of hope, trusting that my mercy creates new beginnings with every sunrise. Think of someone who has spent an entire night walking through a dense forest. The darkness has hidden every landmark. The path has seemed uncertain with every step. Strange sounds echoed from the trees, and fear often whispered that morning would never come. Yet as the first light of dawn begins to appear, everything slowly changes. The same path that seemed frightening becomes clear. The same trees that looked threatening are revealed in their true beauty. The traveler realizes that the darkness did not last forever. It only seemed endless while the sun had not yet risen. My beloved child, you are much closer to dawn than your fears would have you believe. The light of my faithfulness is already breaking across the horizon of your life. There were moments when I allowed you to walk through difficult valleys, not because I desired your pain, but because there were treasures that could only be discovered there. You learned compassion through suffering. You learned perseverance through waiting. You learned to trust my voice when every other voice failed you. Those lessons have become part of the strength you now carry. The darkness did not defeat you. By my grace, it became the place where your roots grew deeper than ever before. Do not mistake the memory of pain for the promise of your future. Memories can teach wisdom, but they should never steal hope. I did not preserve your life through every storm so that you would spend the rest of your days looking backward. I preserved you because there is still meaningful work ahead. There are hearts you will encourage. There are lives you will touch. There are prayers you will see answered in ways that will leave you standing in quiet wonder before me. Imagine a sculptor carefully polishing a precious gemstone that has just been brought from deep within the earth. At first, the stone appears rough and ordinary. Dust covers its surface, hiding the brilliance within. But with patient hands, the sculptor removes each layer until the hidden beauty begins to shine. The polishing may seem slow, and at times it may even appear uncomfortable for the stone. Yet every careful movement reveals more of the brilliance that was there all along. My beloved child, many of the trials you have faced have been part of that loving process. I have not been diminishing your life. I have been revealing the beauty I placed within you from the very beginning. You may still carry questions about why certain chapters unfolded the way they did. There are answers that will become clear in time, and there are mysteries that may only be fully understood when you stand with me in eternity. But even without every explanation, you can trust my heart. Have I not carried you through every season so far? Have I not remained faithful when your own strength was gone? Have I not provided peace in moments when you believed peace was impossible? Let those memories become evidence that the one who has guided you this far will continue guiding you forward. My beloved child, I do not ask you to deny the reality of your past. I ask you to place it in its proper place. Let it become a testimony rather than a prison. Let it remind you of my faithfulness instead of your fear. Every scar you carry can become a witness to my healing. Every tear can become a reminder of my comfort. Every difficult chapter can become proof that my grace is greater than any hardship you have ever faced. As you move forward, refuse to let discouragement steal your expectation. Begin each new day with the confidence that I am already waiting for you within it. I have gone before you to prepare the way. I have placed opportunities where you least expect them. I have arranged encounters that will strengthen your faith and encourage your heart. You are not walking toward uncertainty alone. You are walking toward a future already held within my loving hands. So lift your face toward the light, my beloved child. Leave the shadows where they belong, behind you. The dawn of my promises is rising, and no darkness can prevent its arrival. Continue walking with hope, even if your steps feel small. Continue believing, even when you can't yet see the full picture. Continue trusting my voice above every fearful whisper. The brightest chapters of your story are not buried in your past. They are waiting in the future I have lovingly prepared for you. My light will continue leading you. My love will continue surrounding you. And my faithfulness will remain your constant companion until every promise I have spoken finds its beautiful fulfillment in your life. My beloved child, there are burdens you have been carrying that I never asked you to hold. Somewhere along your journey, you began believing that you had to carry every responsibility alone. You felt responsible for fixing every broken situation, answering every question, meeting every expectation, and protecting yourself from every possible disappointment. Little by little, the weight grew heavier. What began as concern slowly became exhaustion. What began as responsibility quietly turned into a burden too great for your heart to bear. Today I am calling you to let go of what you cannot carry anymore. I have watched you trying to stay strong even when your soul was growing tired. You smiled while hiding your worries. You comforted others while silently wondering who would comfort you. You kept moving because you believed stopping would somehow mean failure. But my beloved child, there is a difference between perseverance and carrying burdens that belong in my hands. I never created you to live beneath a weight that only I can bear. Think of a traveler making a long journey with a backpack filled with stones. At the beginning of the trip, the load seems manageable. But as the miles pass, every step becomes more difficult. The shoulders ache. The back grows weary. The joy of the journey begins to disappear because all the traveler's attention is consumed by the weight. Then the traveler reaches a resting place where a loving guide says, "Open your bag." One by one, unnecessary stones are removed until only what is truly needed remains. Suddenly, the path has not changed, but the traveler has. The same road feels lighter because the unnecessary burden is gone. My beloved child, many of the stones you have been carrying were never meant to remain in your hands. Some are worries about tomorrow. Some are regrets from yesterday. Some are the opinions of people whose approval you were never meant to depend upon. Today I invite you to open your heart before me and allow me to remove those heavy stones. You have carried guilt that my mercy has already forgiven. You have carried fear about situations that have not even happened. You have carried disappointment from prayers that seemed unanswered, forgetting that I was already preparing something greater than you could see. You have carried the pressure to always appear strong, even though I have repeatedly invited you to find your strength in me instead of yourself. My beloved child, These burdens have consumed energy that I intended for peace, joy, and hope. Remember the invitation my son gave when he said, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Those words are not merely beautiful poetry. They are my living invitation to your heart today. I am not asking you to prove how much you can endure before you come to me. I am asking you to come exactly as you are, weary if necessary, uncertain if necessary, even broken if necessary. You do not have to become stronger before approaching me. Come to me, and I will become your strength. There are things you cannot control, no matter how much you worry about them. You cannot force every person to understand you. You cannot guarantee that life will unfold exactly according to your plans. You cannot prevent every hardship or predict every tomorrow. Yet how often have you exhausted yourself trying? My beloved child, release the illusion that you must control what belongs to me. Your calling is faithfulness, not control. Your calling is trust, not endless striving. Imagine a little child walking beside a loving father while trying to carry a suitcase far too heavy for small hands. The child struggles, stopping every few steps to catch a breath. The father watches with compassion before gently saying, "Give it to me." The child hesitates because they want to prove they can do it alone. But the moment the suitcase is placed into the father's hands, the child begins walking freely again. The journey becomes joyful because the burden has found the shoulders strong enough to carry it. My beloved child, I am asking you the same question today. Will you place your burden into my hands? Let go of the need to understand everything before trusting me. Let go of the fear that keeps reminding you of past disappointments. Let go of the shame that my forgiveness has already washed away. Let go of the expectations that others have placed upon you if they do not align with the purpose I have written over your life. These things do not belong in your heart any longer. They have occupied space that I desire to fill with my peace. As you release these burdens, do not expect every circumstance to change immediately. Sometimes I change the situation, and sometimes I first change the heart that carries it. There is a beautiful freedom that comes when you realize you no longer have to carry tomorrow before it arrives. Grace is given one day at a time. Strength is supplied one step at a time. My presence is experienced one moment at a time. You do not need today's strength for next year's challenges. I will provide exactly what you need when you need it. My beloved child, breathe deeply in my presence. Feel the weight leaving your shoulders as you surrender each concern into my loving care. Rest is not found in having every answer. Rest is found in trusting the one who already knows every answer. My hands have never failed to hold what my children entrust to me. They will not fail you now. So walk forward with lighter steps. Leave behind the burdens that have stolen your joy. Carry only what I have asked you to carry, and trust me with everything else. I am your refuge when life becomes overwhelming. I am your strength when your own strength is gone. I am your peace when worry tries to take hold. Place your whole heart into my hands, my beloved child, and discover the freedom that comes when you finally release what was never yours to carry. My beloved child, I am calling you into deeper trust. You have walked with me through many seasons already. Together we have journeyed through valleys of uncertainty, climbed mountains of hope, crossed rivers of change, and stood beneath skies filled with both sunshine and storms. You have seen my faithfulness in ways you could not have imagined when this journey first began. Yet I tell you today that there is still more for you to discover. My desire is not only that you believe in me, but that you learn to rest completely in my heart, trusting me even when your understanding cannot keep pace with my plans. There have been moments when you trusted me with certain parts of your life while quietly holding other parts close to yourself. You gave me your hopes, but you kept your fears. You offered me your prayers, but you still carried your worries. You believed my promises, yet you sometimes question whether they truly applied to your own situation. My beloved child, I do not ask for only part of your heart. I lovingly invite you to place your whole life into my hands. There is no safer place for it to be. Trust is not proven when everything unfolds exactly as you expected. Trust reveals its deepest beauty when the road becomes unfamiliar. It is easy to believe when every answer arrives on time and every door opens without delay. But when the path disappears into the mist and the future cannot be clearly seen, that is when trust grows from a simple belief into an unshakable relationship. I have never asked you to trust because life will always be easy. I ask you to trust because I will always be faithful. Imagine a young child learning to swim for the first time. The father stands in the water with open arms, inviting the child to jump from the edge of the pool. The child looks at the distance with uncertainty. Fear whispers that the water is too deep. Doubt suggests that perhaps the father will not catch them. Yet the father's eyes are filled with love, and his arms remain open. Finally, the child takes the leap. Before the child even reaches the water, the father has already caught them safely. My beloved child, there have been many moments in your life when I have stood before you with open arms, asking you to trust my love more than your fear. Every time you have stepped forward in faith, I have been there to carry you. Sometimes you have mistaken control for security. You believe that if you planned carefully enough, worried long enough, or worked hard enough, you could protect yourself from disappointment. But control is not the same as peace. True peace is born when you recognize that your life rests in my hands rather than your own efforts. This does not mean you stop acting with wisdom or responsibility. It means you stop believing that everything depends upon you alone. You were never created to carry that burden. My beloved child, deeper trust also means accepting that my ways are sometimes different from your expectations. There are prayers I answer immediately. There are others I answer gradually. There are still others I answer in ways you never imagined because my wisdom sees beyond the limits of human understanding. If every answer looked exactly the way you expected, you might miss the greater blessings hidden within my unexpected ways. I ask you not only to trust my answers but also to trust my methods. Think about a mountain guide leading travelers through unfamiliar terrain. There are moments when the guide chooses a path that seems longer than necessary. The travelers may wonder why they are not taking the shorter route visible in the distance. What they cannot see is the unstable ground hidden beneath that easier-looking path. The guide leads them safely because he knows dangers that remain invisible to those following him. My beloved child, I have often guided your life in the same way. Some delays have protected you. Some detours have prepared you. Some unanswered prayers have preserved blessings that would have been lost had you continued along your own chosen path. There is a beautiful freedom that comes when trust becomes your daily way of living. Instead of waking each morning with fear about what might happen, you begin waking with confidence that whatever comes, you will not face it alone. Instead of measuring every circumstance by what you can see, you begin measuring it by what you know about my character. You remember that I have never failed you. You remember that my promises remain true even when emotions change. You remember that my love has carried you through every chapter already written, and it will continue carrying you through every chapter still to come. Do not be afraid to surrender your unanswered questions into my hands. You do not dishonor me by asking honest questions, but do not allow those questions to become barriers that prevent you from trusting my heart. There are mysteries you cannot yet understand, but there is one truth you can always hold firmly. I am good. My love for you has never wavered. My intentions toward you have always been filled with hope. My plans have always been guided by perfect wisdom, even when they unfolded differently than you expected. So today, my beloved child, take another step into deeper trust. Release the last pieces of fear that still cling to your heart. Lay down the need to control every outcome. Place your dreams, your relationships, your future, your health, your family, your calling, and every hidden concern into my hands. I am worthy of your trust because I have always been faithful. Walk with me in confidence, knowing that every path I lead you upon is covered by my love. As your trust grows deeper, so will your peace, your joy, and your confidence. And you will discover that the safest place you could ever be is not where every answer is known, but where your hand is resting securely in mine. My beloved child, my promises have not changed. The world around you changes constantly. Seasons come and go. People enter your life and sometimes leave. Circumstances rise and fall like the tide of the sea. There are days filled with celebration and days marked by quiet tears. In the middle of all these changes, it can become easy to wonder whether my promises have changed as well. You may ask yourself if they still apply to you after all you have been through. Hear my voice clearly today. What I have spoken over your life remains true. Time has not weakened my word. Delay has not canceled my purpose. Your struggles have not erased my promises. There have been moments when disappointment tempted you to believe that my silence meant I had changed my mind. You prayed with sincerity, waited with hope, and expected certain doors to open. When those moments did not unfold as you imagined, doubt quietly entered your heart. It whispered that perhaps my promises belonged to someone else. But my beloved child, my promises are not fragile. They do not disappear because circumstances become difficult. They stand firm because they are rooted in my unchanging character. Think about the stars that fill the night sky. Long before you were born, they shone in their appointed places. Generations have looked up and found them faithfully appearing night after night. Clouds may temporarily hide them, but the stars themselves remain unchanged. My promises are like those stars. There may be seasons when clouds of uncertainty prevent you from seeing them clearly, but they have never ceased to exist. They remain exactly where I placed them, waiting for the skies to clear so you can recognize once again what hath been true all along. Remember the rainbow that appears after the rain. It is more than a beautiful sight. It is a reminder that I am a covenant-keeping God. I do not speak carelessly. When I give my word, I remain faithful to it. Human promises may be forgotten, broken, or delayed through weakness. But I do not forget what I have spoken. My memory does not fade. My strength does not fail. My love does not grow weary. Every promise I have made is held securely within my hands. My beloved child, there are promises that have already been fulfilled in your life, though you may overlook them because your attention has been fixed on what you are still waiting to receive. Remember how I carried you through seasons you once believed would destroy you. Remember the peace I placed in your heart when fear threatened to overwhelm you. Remember the unexpected doors I opened after others had closed. Remember the strength that appeared when your own strength had reached its limit. Those were not coincidences. They were evidence of my faithfulness unfolding before your eyes. Sometimes my promises are fulfilled differently than you expected because my vision reaches beyond your immediate desires. You may pray for one specific opportunity, while I prepare another that will bring greater peace and deeper purpose. You may ask for immediate comfort, while I gently lead you toward lasting transformation. You not mistake a different answer for a broken promise. I always fulfill my word according to my perfect wisdom, not according to limited human understanding. Imagine an architect holding the complete blueprint for a magnificent building. The workers on the construction site see only the section directly before them. They may wonder why certain walls are being built first or why some areas remain unfinished. Yet the architect understands how every room, every beam, and every foundation will come together. My beloved child, I hold the complete blueprint of your life. You see today's unfinished walls, but I already see the completed masterpiece. Trust the architect even when the construction seems incomplete. There will always be voices that try to convince you to give up before the promise is fulfilled. They will point to delays as evidence that nothing is happening. They will encourage you to lower your expectations and settle for less than what I have prepared. Do not listen to those voices. Continue to nourish your heart with my truth. Continue to remember my faithfulness. Continue to believe that I finish what I begin. Seeds do not become trees overnight, yet their growth continues even when invisible to the eye. In the same way, my promises continue unfolding even when you cannot yet recognize every step. My beloved child, my promises are not dependent upon your perfect performance. If they were, no one could receive them. They are grounded in my grace and my faithfulness. Yes, I invite you to walk in obedience because obedience draws you closer to my heart. But my love is not withdrawn every time you stumble. I am patient. I lift you when you fall. I teach you when you are uncertain. I strengthen you when you are weak. My covenant with you rests upon my character, and my character never changes. As you move forward, let my promises become stronger than your fears. When doubt whispers, answer it with remembrance. When discouragement knocks at your heart, open the door instead to hope. Fill your thoughts with the countless ways I have already proven myself faithful. Let yesterday's testimonies strengthen today's faith and prepare you for tomorrow's blessings. So stand firmly, my beloved child. Do not surrender your confidence because the journey has taken longer than expected. My word still stands. My plans remain secure. My love continues surrounding you. Every promise I have spoken will unfold in the fullness of my perfect time. Continue walking with courage, continue believing with quiet confidence, and continue resting in my faithfulness. The God who has carried you this far will not abandon his work now. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever, and my promises over your life remain as certain today as the moment I first spoke them into being. My beloved child, this is the beginning of a new chapter. I know that when you hear those words, part of your heart rejoices while another part hesitates. You have learned that every new beginning often requires leaving something familiar behind. Even when the future holds beauty, stepping into the unknown can feel unsettling. But I want you to know that I have not brought you this far to leave your story unfinished. Every lesson, every tear, every victory, every delay, every prayer, and every moment of quiet trust hath been preparing you for the season that now lies before you. There were times when you believed your life had come to a standstill. You looked around and saw little movement. You wondered if your purpose had somehow been lost among the disappointments of yesterday. Yet while you believed you were standing still, I was quietly arranging tomorrow. I was aligning moments you could not yet see. I was preparing hearts you had not yet met. I was opening doors that would only become visible when the right time arrived. Nothing about your waiting has been wasted. Every step has been leading you toward this new beginning. Imagine an artist standing before a beautiful canvas. At first, only a few brushstrokes appear. Someone watching might wonder how those scattered colors could ever become a masterpiece. They may even think the painting has been ruined because they cannot yet recognize the design. But the artist continues working with patience. Every color is placed intentionally. Every shadow gives depth to the light that will follow. Every detail has purpose. My beloved child, I am the artist of your life. There were moments when you judged your story before I had finished painting it. You looked at unfinished chapters and assumed they represented the final picture. But I have always seen the completed masterpiece, and now you are beginning to step into the next beautiful portion of that work. Do not carry the fears of yesterday into the opportunities of tomorrow. The disappointments you experienced were real, but they are not your future. The mistakes you made taught valuable lessons, but they are not your identity. The tears you cried watered seeds that are now ready to grow into something beautiful. Every season has prepared you for this one. Nothing hath been wasted in my hands. My beloved child, as you enter this new chapter, I ask you to walk with expectation instead of hesitation. Expect to see my goodness in places where you once expected disappointment. Expect my peace to meet you in situations that once filled you with anxiety. Expect my wisdom to guide your decisions when uncertainty tries to return. I am not asking you to ignore reality. I am inviting you to see reality through the eyes of faith instead of fear. There will be new relationships to nurture, new opportunities to embrace, and new lessons to learn. Some moments will still require patience. Others will invite courage. But remember what I have taught you throughout this journey. You have learned that my timing is perfect. You have learned that my love never fails. You have learned that your strength comes from my presence rather than your own ability. Carry these truths into every new opportunity, and they will become steady lamps lighting your path. Like a river that leaves the mountains and flows toward the sea, your life was never meant to remain in one place forever. The river does not cling to every bend it has already passed. It continues flowing because its destination lies ahead. Along the way, it nourishes fields, refreshes travelers, and brings life wherever it goes. My beloved child, I am calling you to keep moving forward with that same quiet confidence. Do not remain anchored to chapters I have already completed. Receive the grace I am giving you for this new season. You may not yet see everything I have prepared, and that is all right. You do not need to know every detail to walk with confidence. You know me, and that is enough. The one who faithfully guided you through every previous chapter will faithfully guide you through this one as well. The same hand that comforted you in sorrow will lead you in joy. The same voice that encouraged you during waiting will direct you during fulfillment. My character has not changed, and neither has my commitment to you. As this new chapter begins, let gratitude become your companion. Thank me not only for the blessings you can already see, but also for those still unfolding beyond the horizon. Gratitude opens your heart to recognize my fingerprints in everyday moments. It reminds you that I have been faithful before, I'm faithful today, and I will remain faithful tomorrow. My beloved child, leave behind every chain that no longer belongs to you. Leave behind unnecessary fear, lingering regret, and the belief that your best days are already behind you. They are not. The road before you carries fresh mercy, renewed hope, unexpected joy, and deeper intimacy with me. I have gone before you to prepare it with loving care. So rise with courage and walk into this new chapter. Lift your head with quiet confidence. Open your heart to the new things I am doing. Let hope replace hesitation, faith overcome fear, and peace guide every decision you make. You are not stepping into an uncertain future. You are stepping into a future already held within my hands. Continue walking beside me, my beloved child, because the most beautiful pages of your story are not behind you. They are unfolding even now, and together we will write them with grace, purpose, hope, and everlasting love. My beloved child, we have walked together through many moments in this journey. You have listened as I reminded you that you were never forgotten, never abandoned, and never beyond the reach of my love. You have heard me speak to your fears, your doubts, your wounds, your waiting, and your hopes. And now, as we come to the end of this message, I want you to carry one truth above all the others. I have been with you from the very beginning. I am with you today, and I will remain with you through every tomorrow that lies ahead. Do not leave these words behind as though they belonged only to this moment. Let them become part of the way you live. When fear comes, remember my faithfulness. When uncertainty appears, remember my wisdom. When loneliness tries to surround your heart, remember my presence. When disappointment whispers that nothing will change, remember that I am still working in places your eyes cannot yet see. I have never stopped writing your story, and I never will. There will be days when your faith feels strong, and there will be days when your heart grows weary. On both kinds of days, my love remains exactly the same. I do not love you more because you feel confident, nor do I love you less because you struggle. My love is not measured by your emotions or your achievements. It is rooted in my eternal heart. Rest in that truth whenever life becomes difficult. My beloved child, continue to seek me in the quiet moments. Continue to trust me when the road ahead is unclear. Continue to forgive, to love, to hope, and to believe that my promises remain true. The seeds of faith you have planted through tears will one day become a harvest of joy. The prayers you have whispered in secret have never been ignored. The acts of kindness no one else noticed have all been seen by me. Every faithful step you have taken has become part of the beautiful testimony I am writing through your life. Remember that your value has never depended upon the opinions of people. Your identity has never been determined by your failures. Your future has never been limited by your past. You are my beloved child. That is the name I have spoken over you, and no voice in this world has the authority to take it away. Walk with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are deeply loved by their Heavenly Father. As you leave this message and continue your journey, do not walk with fear about what tomorrow may hold. Walk with expectation. Expect my mercy to greet you every morning. Expect my wisdom to guide your decisions. Expect my peace to guard your heart. Expect my grace to strengthen you when your own strength feels small. And above all, expect my love to remain constant, because it is the one gift that will never fade. When you stumble, I will lift you. When you become weary, I will strengthen you. When you cannot see the way forward, I will become your light. When you rejoice, I will rejoice with you. When you weep, I will draw near and comfort you. There is no place you can go where my love cannot find you, and there is no season you will ever face without my faithful presence walking beside you. So go forward with courage, my beloved child. Live with compassion. Speak with kindness. Walk in humility. Hold tight to hope. Trust my timing. Rest in my promises. Shine my light wherever you go. Let your life become a reflection of the love you have received from me, so that others who are searching in the darkness may discover the same hope that has been awakening in your heart throughout this journey. And now, before this message comes to its close, I place one final invitation upon your heart. If my words have strengthened your spirit and reminded you that hope is still alive, then let your gratitude become a river that carries this message to countless other hearts. Every gift you release becomes another seed planted in my field, allowing my light to reach someone who has been praying for hope in the darkness. Remember my living promise: give, and it will be given to you, for I delight in multiplying every act of love offered with a willing heart. My beloved child, I am inviting you to stand with this mission so that more souls may hear my voice of comfort and restoration. Respond through Super Thanks, become a YouTube member, or give through the PayPal donation link waiting in the video description, and through the QR code shown in this video. Do not wait for another moment if I am stirring your heart now, because obedience opens doors that hesitation never will. I bless every cheerful giver with renewed peace, fresh provision, and strength for every season ahead. May every seed you sow become a harvest of hope in lives across the world, bringing glory to my name. Let your generosity become a testimony that my love continues to reach the weary through willing hearts. Rise in faith, act with joy, and help my word continue reaching every soul I am calling home. Go now with my peace surrounding you, my wisdom guiding you, my strength sustaining you, and my everlasting love holding you securely every step of the way. Amen.